So she was on all four. Oh, hey, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls and squirrels from around the world. How's it going? Welcome, Matt himself.
What's going on, people?
Everybody hear the man okay? Just making sure that he's good, making sure that he's good. And Rabbit, my wonderful mod that just always comes in here. Not even. We're actually here just seeing how many times we can get you to say that.
We have to be fashionably late, or else they start expecting you to be on time.
Yeah, you don't want to be on time. Don't ever want to be on time making sure that this is happening over. Yeah, there it is. Making sure it's working on Rumble, and it is. So that's a good thing. So I am multi-streaming also over on Rumble, and we're gonna see if we can get a few of you guys to go and sub to Matt himself over there.
Yeah, might even post a video if y'all show up there.
Exactly. You get 25 followers. You can live stream there.
Oh, that's what it takes. Okay.
Yep. I found that out not too long ago. It just was like, ooh, 25. Let's see if we can get it. And
I think I have that many friends.
13 right now. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, he's on Rumble. He's on YouTube. I've got all of his links right there inside the banner. So all you have to do is just reach down there and click on it. It's right there at the bottom. Wanted to make sure that we boost this man up. He's got a better voice than I do.
No, I do not. Smoke too many cigarettes to have a good voice.
That's why I have the voice I have. Too many cigarettes and too much bourbon and not enough women.
Sorry, I'll be right back.
All right, brother. But how is everybody doing this evening? Good to see you. Good to see you. So we've got a little bit planned for tonight. We're gonna go over a little bit of the wonderful. Hey, Tweety, I see you over there on Rumble. Greetings, Tweety. There we go. It's good. It's good. We'll pop that thing out so I can actually view it whenever I need to. I got Matt grabbing probably a little bit of water, and he had to shake off his shoes a little bit there. You know how it goes. But yeah, it's I met Matt on, I believe it was Steve Gosney's show. And he was doing his thing, and I actually added him into I sent him an invite on Twitter, and he was gracious enough to give me a shout back and said, yeah, I'll be happy to come on anytime. Like to hang out, talk trash. Found out that we've done some of the same things. He is working on the inspection side of working on the inspection side of pipelines.
Yes, sir. That was actually a work call, and I had to give him some information for something I went to today.
Oh, absolutely. You can jump on and off at any point in time. It doesn't bother me at all.
Hopefully, it was the last phone call I got. We had major projects going on the past week, so just wanted to make sure they're lined up so they can get this thing back running. So,
welcome, Darth. Yeah, no. And I thought it was pretty. So, are you originally from Louisiana?
Yeah, born and raised down the bayou.
Nice.
Yeah, I don't have an accent anymore. I started traveling for work at like 20 years old. So as a 20-year-old who's getting into inspection, you already have a dialect that's really bad just because you don't know vocabulary, and also pair that with a coon-ass accent, you kind of tend to lose it, especially working up north. So
exactly. Now I get told that I have a southern accent. I don't hear it.
There's a small drawl to it, but it's just the way you linger your words a little bit. But it's not. It's sophisticated for sure.
Well, I had to lose the northern accent that I had. It was really thick. I got rid of that, And
No, Tweety, I don't lay pipe. I just look at it very intensely.
Yes, Tweety. Yes, Tweety. He just looks at it. Hey, rabbit.
Compassionately.
Yeah. So yeah, I worked pipeline construction in the 80s. So Matt's just a little bit younger than me.
Yeah, I was telling him the other day we were fixing all their mistakes from the 80s. So,
And there
but
were plenty.
the real thing is though they change these codes like every 10 years. So, because it's somebody's job. So it's somebody's job to take the old code and be like, oh, this is what's bad about all this, and they get paid to do that. So they have to come out with a new code book every 10 years. And
Exactly.
but money
Yeah,
rackets, but it pays me, so I'm happy.
that's what it's all about. Getting the paycheck, and they'll pay you really good just to keep the oil flowing. That's their most important prospect right there. Just keeping that oil flowing.
So my monitor's not on the ceiling. It's actually just raised up because I'm in a camper RV. So it's like,
Yes.
wait, it's up here.
Now, see, where my grandparents lived in Indiana, a lot of guys would be working through the summer. So what they would do is they would pull up in an RV, and they would just travel from area to area, just working different jobs, and that's it was not uncommon to see that.
Now, I meet
It
a lot of
is.
cool people traveling through like some of these campgrounds. Like the KOAs, they're the more expensive ones, but they're your more touristy attracted ones. And like I said, it's always nice when you have like an old couple that's retired and they pull up in a $500,000 coach, and
Uh-huh.
they're like, "Oh, you're by yourself? Who's cooking for you? Oh, here's a pot pie I made last night, or here's some like stew." So
Yeah. Yeah. I have enormous respect for people that are able to do those kind of trips and travels, because it'll take a lot out of you, and it's not as cheap as people think. It's cheaper than, staying in a hotel room for months on end,
oh yeah, definitely.
but it's still not cheap.
Yeah, when the hurricanes hit, not Ida that hit recently in 21, but the one that hit Lake Charles pretty hard. I think that was 2019.
Yeah.
I forget the name of it, but I had my old RV and my buddy lost his house completely. So I let him stay in my RV, and it took him a year and a half to rebuild his house. So I was staying in hotels for a year and a half because I didn't have mine. But then
Oof.
he finally gave it back to me because he was done, and he did a lot of work on it, took care of it. And then the hurricane, I think it was Ida, hit my hometown, and it wiped us out. So I loaned my camper to another friend, but then then the insurance offered just to buy it off of me. So I had like 15 grand, so I bought this new one
Nice.
like within a month apart from each other. So
1855, but we split hairs. You got to understand that Tweety is a Fed. We all know Tweety's a Fed.
oh, I thought she or he was witch.
No,
I
it's a
thought we had to
she.
burn him at the stake.
No, no.
Sailing witch trials, anybody? Let's go.
Yeah, let's burn them all. Burn all the witches. They make crispy critters. Make crispy critters. I could not imagine living at that period of time where just a suspicion of something that someone didn't like what they said. Wow, it's sort of like
Oh, it's like we're in 2020. I just couldn't imagine pooping in a bucket.
or just going wherever.
Yeah.
I mean,
They said for the West there might be gold. Who knows?
yeah. So I worked the oil field pipeline construction, where we would actually have to go on government land, and those rules were so strict where it was like every single bush had to be planted right back where you dug them up. Those mesquite brush, you're not allowed to kill any animals. Snake comes up on you, which they would be usually laying around the railroad ties where you got the pipe mounted. They'd be hanging out there because it's nice and warm. The little
Oh yeah.
bastards would come creeping out, and the first instinct that you get is grab a railroad tie and smash the shit out of them.
Oh, then you get fined like now. I think this was 2016 or 17. I was up in the forest, the state Pennsylvania forest, whatever that's called, and they have the Pennsylvania timber rattlesnake, and they would just like huddle around the pipe whenever we're not there. And when you show up in the morning, you have to like fend them out the hole with like a giant stick and throw them into the woods and hope they don't come back. and you're not allowed to kill them. Or I think it was like a $50,000 or $60,000 fine, like per skin, if you would kill them. And then there was a beetle. Oops, sorry.
Yeah, the beetles.
Yep.
Have you ever been on site whenever they fire the rabbit down the hole?
You mean the pig?
Is that what they call it now?
Well, you're talking about on new lay construction?
Yeah.
Where they'll send like it's like a thing that seals around the inside of the pipe and it shoots it down to clear it out.
Yep, make sure there's no animals or debris in it.
They call them pigs now for whatever reason, but okay. I know what you mean.
They were called rabbits, and they'd fire them down those things. They have a big net at the end of them. They'd just fill that thing up with air and just fire it out. They'd catch it with
a shotgun blast of just animals and like furry little critters. Just
it's like a cannon. We had a guy that it shredded his shirt, ripped his pants off of him, like the backside of his pants, because he was standing too close to it. And it took his paycheck that he just got cash and took his wallet and sent it sailing.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Because they didn't have the net on the backside of it to catch it. And it just it was just boom. And you could hear it coming to us. It's just like
yeah, we just did a blowdown for some nitrogen on a line that we just replaced. And it was just something that was coming out of service. And we had to shut down the roadway because the noise was so loud coming out the frac tank. And this is only 16-inch pipe, but like we charged it up to 300 PSI with nitrogen just to push these cleaner pigs through it, just to kind of isolate the product that was in there. And we had this giant frac tank, pretty much the size of an 18-wheeler trailer, but we're right next to a major highway. So we had to shut down highway for 30 minutes just to let it blow down.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that is a very, very loud noise. I've also done work up in Kentucky, working Commonwealth Aluminum, where the plant is, doing a bunch of the annealing furnaces, crap like that.
Okay.
Which the annealing furnaces are pretty easy, but they use stainless on steel to exhaust all the oil that's on the aluminum rolls. They'd put them in those big annealing furnaces and heat it up to burn off all the oil.
Oh yeah.
And so, stainless steel panels inside of it with basically just a big oven. And then one of their what do you call it? Smelters that basically heats up all of the aluminum debris, like whenever you recycle your aluminum, it would go there, big chunks of aluminum, and they put it in ingots or put them in buckets and then take them off in ingots and dump it out. And we had a crew that would come in and clear out all of the brick, which is what do you call that? The casting bricks or whatever, like you use in big furnaces.
The big fire bricks you set the parts
fire
on.
Bricks.
Yeah.
So they pull all the fire bricks off of it, and it had to be shut down for I think 24 hours before you could even go in there. And still, you step on that aluminum, and it would just melt your shoe because there'd be like a big chunk of it there.
Yeah, my first real big boy job getting into kind of this industry was doing heat treat work for a large corporation, and we had this giant. It was like we built it out of two 40 by 20 foot or 40 by 8 foot Connex boxes, so it was 40 foot by 16 foot, and it was on these big rollers. So the entire housing of it would walk back, so you could take a crane and put all the parts like spool piping in. And a lot of stuff we did was carbon steel with Inconel inlay for like the fan flay service, and we would heat it up to like 1,400 degrees. And we had a big steel rack in there, like carbon steel rack, to put the parts on, but everything underneath it was limestone. And for whatever reason, that limestone just held heat so much longer than the steel. I would think it would be the other way, but I guess it's just the bed of rock that we had. It was like probably about a foot deep. And with these giant jet turbines that would just feed this thing with like heat, you would have like 6 foot long fireball just going in there, because we had a little peep window you could like look at it. But yeah, that thing wouldn't stay hot forever. We would just have to open it up and let it sit for a day.
Yeah. And I know that a lot of the jobs that we were working, they were using concrete lined pipe, which was always a bitch to work on, because especially if you got like a 26-inch pipe, you'd have to go in there and you'd have to seal that thing back up afterwards, so there was no exposed concrete. That That because I was so small, that's what I would do. I would climb in there. My waist would actually fit through there, and I could get inside the pipe, crawl all the way down the pipe, seal it up, crawl all the way back out.
We had some small X-ray guys that would do shots like that inside of riser piping that was 18-inch in internal diameter, and would put them on a skateboard and just push them through it so they can go set the source and then pull them back out so we can make the shot.
Yep.
But we can't do stuff like that anymore.
No. No.
And I've only been doing this for 11 or 12 years. So, I mean, they changed it. Like, I don't know if it was okay back then, but they kind of like really hunkered down on, hey, probably don't do that. We have these robotic crawlers now. So
I'm watching what Tweety's typing in over there. It said Shizzy was gesturing as if he was grabbing a gorilla's balls, and now Matt is doing the same gestures.
Thanks, Tweety. I will not confirm or deny what I was doing with my hand.
Might have been gorilla's balls. You never know. Yeah, I mean, so I got out in 1990 from doing that and moved on to doing bigger and better things. You know, worked in a restaurant, making almost as much money, working less hours.
No, that would be nice.
I was like, oh.
You know, I love what I do, and it's cool being on the inspection side of things because it's less labor intensive. It's more like mental stuff and controlling job sites and all that. But like I said, probably 2025 is I think my last year traveling doing this, and then because I think I told you on Monday, my biggest thing was getting my retirement set, and I think I did an okay job at doing that, so I could just switch to more like a conventional 9 to 5 back at home. Or doing consulting work. Who knows?
Are you planning on going back to Louisiana?
Yeah. Can't take Louisiana out of me.
Is that your home base?
Yeah, my corporate office is out of Louisiana. So we got offices all over the country plus overseas, but it's just I live next to the corporate office, and that's kind of like a convenient thing, except for whenever I travel home for like a weekend and everybody that knows I'm going home is like, hey, pick up this, that, and the other and bring it to me on your way. I'm like, thanks, guys.
Well, we had one guy on our job sites was from Louisiana, and he was a blast. And the interesting part, awesome welder, but he had a deformity on one of his hands. It was really super small, but this guy would
his hand was super small.
Yeah, it was like deformed, so it was like a baby-sized hand. So he had one normal hand, and he would weld with it, and he would just hold his stick with the other, you know, just working along. You would never know it because he'd always keep a welding glove on it, or he'd keep it in his pocket, you know, because he was embarrassed about it. And he had he had invited us over for dinner one night, and dude, coon asses can cook. Like
some of us can.
Is unbelievable. Him and his wife together, she was absolutely gorgeous, and he'd just sit there and cook and shoot the shit, and just one of the best meals that I think I'd ever had at that point in time. It was good home cooking, good people working as a male strip club restaurant, making just as much money when he was. You're good.
No, I was reading that one. I was trying to listen to you, but I was like, man, that one's kind of funny.
Cool, I guess. If you say so. I don't know too much about.
If he wins, that would be really fun. You don't know anything about that?
Oh, I know enough that
it'd be really funny if he won, because it would just be a meme. But I mean, he can. He's not going to.
Yeah, I mean, but hey, you know,
I'm not saying I want him to win, but it would be a really funny meme if he did win.
Absolutely. Just to bring Nick down a notch.
It's not even just that, because could you imagine like the live stream that would come after that? He'll just be like,
he'd still grift it. You know, he would.
Oh yeah.
Both of them should. Both of them should be grifting the shit out of this. Speaking of grifters, I've got I got this little silly one here. I, I I've really been suspicious of her for quite some time. Quite some time. So this lady right here, yeah.
That was a perfect transition, by the way.
Oh, thank you. She's a little. I don't know.
Oh, so I told you Monday, and I hate that I watched this, but it's just funny making fun of the girls, the whatever podcast. But I've learned a new term today, and it's called pick me girls, and that's what she is. She's a pick me girl.
I've never heard that term before.
Me either. And apparently, it's girls or boys. They could be pick me boys or pick me girls. Typically, pick me boys are just simps, but pick me girls are. I agree with you, and yes, I agree with this culture and these points and this policy and all that. So she could fit in with like
that
the cool
group.
guys.
Yeah. That I think describes her perfectly.
Now, I enjoyed listening to her a lot when she was on the Adam Levine or Adam Levine, was that
Adam
him?
Levine, yeah.
Yeah, whenever he had a show on satellite radio on the Patriot, I used to love listening to her when she came on, but once she got mainstream success, I think it went to her head, just in my opinion.
I think she's always been that way. I think she's just fine-tuned it. That's all. Because she goes way back to where she was doing a bunch of the really hardcore left-wing crap. Like she was very much into that, where she was looking to dox people and shit.
I guess I really didn't hear about her that much back then, but I don't really consume a bunch of left-wing content. I will say this: I'm not a color or interior designer, but like the color scheme of this set compared to like what she's wearing and her skin tone doesn't work for me. Not enough contrast.
I can see that. She's trying to look a little too businesslike, which, she's attractive, but I find her annoying after a period of time.
Like all women?
Huh?
Like all women? No, I'm kidding.
No, just they're
just most of them.
It's not even that. It just I find that she can be very repetitive on the things that she says, almost like she's trying to convince herself of it. Like I don't know if you saw her when she went on Tim Pool, and that was the start of her going at Crowder.
Yeah, I saw clips of that one that I forget. I think Lauren Chen kind of covered that a little bit.
Yeah,
but I don't have time. Look, I only have time during the day to watch maybe like one long form content, and I got to catch clips of everything else going on. And I kind of rely on the quartering to kind of cover it in the best way he can, because he's pretty non-biased for the most part as far as calling things out on each side of things. But again, you can only catch up with so much of it.
Well, I will say that I'm very biased.
Oh, I'm sure I am too.
I mean, I've got hardcore opinions, and it probably pisses people off at times, but I don't care. I mean, those are my beliefs. I'll annoy you within 10 seconds. All women are annoying. Yeah. But I get to the point where I just don't even trust her at all. Just, it's hard to. You'll see what I mean when she starts going into this.
Yeah, run it whenever you're ready, man. I'm curious.
So first up, let's talk about Steven Crowder. A lot of you guys have probably seen his live stream this morning where he...
Maybe. I would say maybe. A lot of people might have.
Brings me up. So we're going to have to respond to that, obviously.
You didn't have to at all. She didn't have to respond. Did not. But
no, nobody... No, but of all people, she didn't have to respond, most likely.
Yeah. No, she didn't. She did not have to respond at all. Really. I mean, think about this. If someone says, you need to stop doing this thing because it was uncool, and they show a clip of it basically showing the receipt of you doing something uncool, you should just stop. Yeah? No? I mean, makes sense.
I mean, I kind of agree with that. But at the same point, like...
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, I mean, it's kind of obvious that she's doing this in a bad light of using Crowder's name for clout because he is viral right now. So,
yep. That's all that it is.
Have the implications and insinuations in his video that are so patently false that it's shocking to me that a man with his following would be stupid enough to put this onto a platform.
As she just did. Interesting.
So let's first back this up in case you don't know who Steven Crowder is. It's totally plausible. He sort of lives on the internet.
Yeah, we know who Steven Crowder is.
Came to him with a $50 million term sheet. He was offered $50 million. I know.
And what business is that of hers? What does it matter?
It's just a constant
Horrible,
talking point
terrible.
that Daily Wire has with the whole Crowder name. Is like $50 million.
$50 million ain't shit.
Not to Steven Crowder, no.
No, to anybody that has that kind of following, I guarantee you he probably signed that plus more just to do Rumble exclusive stuff.
It has. I don't know. I don't know like how the contracts work over there, but just looking at his viewership status, he's getting over 1 million per live stream he does every single day, Monday through Friday. He's the biggest creator on there, and like I know Rumble pushes his content because they signed him and all that. That's fine, right, promoting it. But even like Candace Owens or any of them, well, I wouldn't consider her like the major like conservative media creators, but of all the conservative media creators, they don't even get half that or even a quarter of that.
She's part of the Daily Wire, so she signed up on the Daily Wire. You got her. You've got a lot of really good people over there on the Daily Wire.
It's Matt Walsh. You got Jordan Peterson, which is probably their biggest creator next to Ben Shapiro, and then I think Michael Knowles, I think he's over there too, I believe.
Yeah, Michael Knowles, and there's another one, Clavin. Andrew Clavin.
I don't think I watched him.
He's over there. Oh, and I mean, good on her. She's hooked up and she can actually do, and it's, you get into these kind of little bullshit things like this whenever you tend to hit the, what is it? You tend to hit the little gossip route whenever you don't have anything to talk about because you've like worn out everything else.
But like if she would have came at it originally by reporting it as news or newsworthy in the conservative media platforms without the attitude, the aggressiveness, and defending Daily Wire, it wouldn't have been as bad. But now she's just railing against Steven Crowder with the crap that's going on between most likely him and David Landau. And David Landau did that interview, and I watched I think 90% of it. Yeah. And there were some bad things to everything. He's a diva, whatever. But at the end of the day, he said, I still consider him a friend. I just can't work with him. And the future will be the future.
Yeah.
And then I don't know.
And he also said he has no hard feelings towards him and he wishes them the best of luck.
And I don't know did David Landau come out and say anything about Crowder's divorce?
No.
I don't think he did.
No. He wouldn't have done that. That's not Dave Landau. I don't even picture Dave Landau being that way.
So do you know where the whole like Crowder divorce thing became like mainstream? Because I know Candace alluded to it, but that was back in either January or December or January, whenever the Daily Wire stuff was going on.
Probably in his circles, the people that he runs with, they all knew about it, and somebody was probably threatening to bring it out, to basically call him out of being, he preaches all of this conservative talk, but he's not conservative. Look at him. He's going through a divorce. Someone was truly conservative, they wouldn't be going through a divorce. This was probably somebody holding shit over his head. He was just getting in front of it. I would guarantee you that's all it was.
The only thing I saw on it, because this was going like with the David Landau stuff, the only thing I saw was Lauren Chen's video covering the highlights of the David Landau video with Michael Malice. And in the thumbnail, it said divorce. But it was the Crowder's whatever, divorce, whatever. It was like the way that, but the title didn't say divorce. It was just a thumbnail said it. But I figured it was divorce between Crowder and David Landau. That's what I understood it as, just a play on words. But then everybody was coming through saying, oh, no, Crowder's going through a divorce. And then it became true because it's been going on for over 2 years.
Yeah. Hey, White Rabbit. The White Rabbit is awesome. She is.
I like that song.
She and the Expert did a live stream last night where they do it every Tuesday. They do a trivia on Tuesdays. It's their Taco Tuesdays. It's pretty cool.
Okay.
It's fun, and it goes by really quick. I mean, but you also realize that you just spent 2 hours doing trivia, but it's fun. It is fun.
But those are the best ways to spend your time if like you really have nothing else better to do. When it's fun and it goes by quick, it's great.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, at that point, you're literally just wasting time, so you might as well have fun doing it.
Exactly. And last night I could not stream. I was just too beat, and was like, and I didn't want to be too worn out for doing a stream with you tonight, because I
I
was like,
appreciate that.
and tomorrow I go and get my teeth whitened. It's gonna be nice.
Heck
That's
yeah,
before
bro.
I get like the all the chips and crap like that fixed on it. Getting old sucks.
I'm behind you on that one.
He was so upset by this that he then decided to do a video in which he calls out essentially all of the Daily Wire hosts, myself included.
I didn't notice that. I actually watched his thing on that because it was the very beginning of it. I was like, what the fuck is he talking about? He's getting divorced. Oh, this is interesting. It didn't sound like he was calling all of Daily Wire. He just sounded like he was saying, yeah, this stuff is going to come out, and in the state of Texas, you can get a divorce, and there you go.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. White Rabbit's wonderful. White Rabbit is awesome. So just so you guys know. Not the same as Rabbit, but she is the White Rabbit.
For accepting slave-like contracts. These were the very heavy implications of that video.
That must have been the earlier one, and that she's talking about calling out with Daily Wire. Okay, so it was the contract he called out, and he wasn't calling out the people at Daily Wire. He was calling out the people that were coming in and signing under any sort of company, any sort of mass media group. It would be like the Shizzy Wiznut mass media group, and I would hire these people on and basically be ripping them off.
Yeah, like I own all your content kind of thing. But so the first original video where he addressed everything with contracts was not named or whatever. It was implicated, but he didn't name anybody in any of the sense.
Right.
Then Jeremy came out with his video, and then after that video came out, Candace came out with a video, Matt Walsh. I don't think Michael knows. I think he stayed on the sidelines in that one. Praise to him. But they came out like attacking Crowder because it's a term sheet. It's not a contract. And it's like, it wasn't a point. It's because the term sheet has to at least meet up to some kind of expectation.
Right.
Before it can even be talked about. But if it's like so far left field to where we would have to redline the entire thing for it to become something that's even becoming like worthy of talking about. And then that's when he came out with a second video after he called Jeremy, recorded it, whatever. That's however you want to take it.
Yeah. And I think they got a little bit hurt over that. But that's on them. Like I said, the drama, all she's doing is creating drama in this 11-minute video. That's all it is. And I'm going to grift off of it.
Heck yeah, brother. I could be here with you.
His followers needed to stop Big Con talking about.
And it's true. Because she's part of it. She's part of the Big Con.
How we are all existing and we're kowtowing. And of course, we responded forcefully to this because it's simply not true. The idea that I'm somehow in bed with big tech or that I'm...
No, that's not what people are saying. They don't believe you're in bed with big tech. You're in bed with making money. You're a grifter, and you'll always be a grifter. That's how I view you, Candace. Sorry. I don't believe half the shit that comes out of your mouth that you believe. She believes shit that, or says she believes things, and I don't believe that she actually believes them. So that's my point of contention with her. I mean, she's cute, but that's about it.
Dishonest in what I do simply because
she's dishonest.
We didn't accept, I guess, his counter offer to the $50 million contract is pointedly ridiculous. Now, why are we talking about him again? Well, when in closing back in January, I essentially said that we were no longer going to talk about Steven Crowder, and I instead offered that people should pray for him because obviously when a man does something like that, he is broken. You don't do something like that to your friends unless there is something going on in your personal life. Well, Steven Crowder...
Now she's just making up shit.
No, she's projecting what she thinks Crowder's going through.
Yeah.
I mean, but then she had personal knowledge of it, so she projected her personal knowledge into a grifting clip to combat her rage against Crowder going after Daily Wire. Like what she said, we aggressively or attacked Crowder, whatever word she used just recently. Like we were aggravated with him or whatever. But you used personal knowledge that you had of him, which only a select few people had, and alluded to something without saying it. But I mean, come on. Like you can kind of catch the understanding of what you were trying to get at.
Yeah, she went on to Tim Pool's like the day that he made that video coming back at Daily Wire and saying, yeah, these people, I just wasn't wanting to do with it. You know, she is the German Shepherd that gets sent out before the actual army comes along to basically
Because
clear
she's
the
a
minefield.
whammon.
Yeah.
She's a whammon and she's a colored minority. And that's nothing bad with that, but like, are you going to attack her personally for whatever she is as a conservative? No.
I would, because she's not conservative.
Well, they send her out because she is the attack dog that you can't attack Candace Owens. She's a minority.
It's a woman. Yeah. So don't say anything bad about her. Yeah, screw her. I'll say all kinds of bad shit about her because I don't believe she is what she says she is. And as soon as the tide turns a different way, she will jump ship in a fucking heartbeat.
Yeah, because she's nothing of consistency. Like she is just a person that, hey, we have to mold you this way to kind of fit this course of action. That's all she is.
Drex would call her a German Shepherd. No, Matt said it perfectly. Chihuahua.
Yeah, she's not big enough to be a German Shepherd.
No.
Announced this morning that he is going through a divorce, and I want to show you bits of that video. Take a listen.
But needed to take a moment here to address some issues out there that are circulating. It's never fun, but well, I guess let me be clear here. I have been living with a proverbial boot on my neck for going on years now. Since 2021, I've been living through what has increasingly been a horrendous divorce. Now, let me say on the outset, to be clear, there is no infidelity, any kind of physical abuse at all on either side. And no, this was not my choice.
Okay, so in the open.
That's pretty straightforward.
And real quick, why would he lie? He knows if he lies, people know his information and knows his business. He can't lie. He has to be completely honest. So why would he say there was no infidelity? Because there was none. Why would he say it wasn't my choice? Because it wasn't. But if he can't lie about that, because he will get called out on that in the ether of the media.
And he also, I later on in that video, he also actually owns, and I don't think he goes into enough detail about it, but I think he blames himself a little bit for it. And it could be that, you know, with his work schedule, possibility he wasn't given enough time to the wife.
Well, we have to remember too, I think this was 2019. Crowder and his wife, his ex-wife, were going through a lot of like miscarriage. Like, well, it was like it was. I don't know if they were miscarriages, but they were having a really tough time conceiving. Yeah, and that was weighing a lot on his wife. And he said it. Then she had her major surgeries before and after the baby, I believe. And Crowder completely like left it to, hey, this is what's going on in my life. The very basics of it. Thank you for the support. We're gonna leave it at that. So it does make sense that with everything that happened throughout the years, plus with all the stress that comes with Steven's success and his platform, and probably the death threats, that, hey, I signed up for this, but I'm reevaluating and I don't want this anymore. And it crushes a guy like Crowder. So he's going to kind of, I don't know if he's going to act, I don't know if I would act out the same way, but I've never been in a situation.
No, I haven't either.
So,
well, and Lady Autumn Sky makes a good point here. Is I believe she believes what she is saying. She has some takes on certain stuff that people need to hear, especially when the left is so loud with their message. But I think that she's being fed what to say from people like Shapiro, which I don't believe he's as conservative as he lets on, from a lot of other people that are on the right. She gets fed the message that they want to hear. I can give a perfect example of this. I don't have to watch the Daily Wire on a daily basis. And it's the same way with the Blaze, with Daily Wire. They have their talking points and they really hit on those specific talking points, and you'll see it from one announcer to the next, to the next, to the next. And they're all basically hammering home this one specific message. So they have their talking points of the day. And that's how these news organizations operate. I mean, there's a perfect example, and you see it in mainstream media. It's no different than your mainstream media. This is what mainstream media is becoming. It is becoming the Daily Wire. It's becoming, whatever Steven Crowder's thing is going to be. It's shifting away from Fox and CNN and MSNBC. It's just all disappearing, and it's going to end up being a different platform with basically new faces.
Well, they're running the same format too, which is
Yeah.
bad. And like Ben Shapiro's not a funny person by any means. He's funny sometimes because he is a millennial who acts like a boomer, who tries to like make fun of like TikTokers on his React videos, which those are kind of entertaining.
Yeah.
But all these people's hour-long format on everything they do, it's just typical mainstream media. It's filled with ads. It's just to get an hour and a half thing. And hey, oh, by the way, we're going to cover this awesome topic that we promised you, but we're going to do it on our platform. So you have to pay the $5-10 subscription. And then they get a little more, maybe not nuance is the right word, but like into like the things, knit and grit of the conservative like movement, if that's what they want to like call it.
Yeah.
But then you have people like Steven Crowder, or whenever David Landau had his show on Steven Crowder while Crowder was out, it's news, but it's funny. And I don't think Crowder's jokes are all that funny. I made a comment to somebody. They said, "Hey, what's going on on Steven Crowder's channel?" I'm like, bad jokes, because most of them are. But it's kind of entertaining. But then you have guys like Nick Rekieta. He covers the news in a very lighthearted way, and it's funny, but he gets serious when he has to. You got, and the entire legal community, you can kind of say the same thing, like Legal Vices and all the other guys. Legal Mindset, really good.
Yeah.
And you cover a lot of stuff that you've been covering. I try to tune into it, but I always come in kind of late. But like you cover like cool stories, and like you cover it, and then you react to chat, and it's like you're reading something I would never read, but you're giving me some insightful things to understand with some kind of humor factor to it.
Yeah, I don't find myself funny at all. Maybe funny looking, but
sometimes really like you give a good like. And it's just reactionary kind of things and stuff like that I enjoy. So but that's the point. Like if you keep on using the same format and covering news articles, and then you shift over to you're attacking your co-partners inside the conservative movement, and you're just like doing a drama stream. That's what Candace is doing right here, just dramifying everything for the clicks and views. I mean, it's not fun for anybody anymore, because now you're splitting the divide.
Well, and I mean, I think calling people out for their bullshit is completely appropriate. I'm conservative. I make no qualms about it. Even though I have the blue behind me, I'm still conservative. But I'm not like this hardcore, gotta jump up and shout, and wave a Trump flag everywhere I go. It's just like I'm gonna vote for the best candidate.
I find that kind of cringy, like seeing Trump flags, and like I get it, you like the guy, but like I just always found it kind of cringy seeing like the Trump flags around. Like the MAG is cool, but like the Trump, like people still have like the Trump 2016 flags out. I'm like, that's cool, but I'm like, come on, man. Like,
I mean, I know like one of the guys that actually has promoted me quite a bit. He's got a Trump 2024 hanging up on the back of his wall. He waves it loud and proud. I'm like, cool.
I have no problem with that, because that is an actual campaign that's currently happening. But like, whenever the 2016 ones, like, okay, put that in the attic, like collect it, it's fine to put it in your garage, but you're not promoting an actual campaign at this point.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I'll still call out people that want to basically say that they have my voice and use.
Hey, I'm going Republican for you in the background.
There you go.
Hey, let me crank the brightness. There you go.
There we go.
We're red-blooded Americans, mother.
We're red-blooded Americans, buddy. Yeah, no, I mean, it's one of those where, I mean, I called out somebody not too long ago. I said, you're saying this conservative thing like you're speaking for all conservatives, and you don't. You're not the voice of the conservative party. Candace Owens is not. Ben Shapiro. None of these people are the voice for the conservative party. You know why they're not the voice? Because they pull shit like this.
Yep.
That's not leadership.
But like even Ben Shapiro, like he called like Steven Crowder's my friend, and he went ahead and did this, and I don't know how I feel about him anymore. Jamry did the same thing. It's like Crowder never came out like to hurt anybody with like the way that he was addressing things. He came out because this is how I feel about it. This is my thoughts on it without naming anybody until they named themselves. He would.
Yep.
So could he have not done the quote unquote attack on the Daily Wire before it was known to be the Daily Wire? Sure. But he had a point that he was trying to make. And it was about the contracts and Big Con. If however he wants to promote that, fine. Maybe he's trying to grow his own community for news media, fine. But then they're like, oh, how dare you attack me? And then it just made me think of like that Gretchen girl or whatever.
Yes.
How dare you ruin my
How
future?
dare you?
Yeah, exactly. But like, anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I mean that's been one of my big, I guess, touchiest points on any of the stuff that I've done. Whenever you see and I call them just straight up grifters. Whenever you see these people come in and they're grifting this bullshit, it's no different than your what, Andrew Tate, Jordan Peterson. They're grifting a certain ideal, and I believe that Peterson is very sincere in what he says, and probably pretty sincere in what he thinks. He may be wrong, and I may disagree with him. He's not the be all end all. And they wonder, and they come back and they say, well, I don't understand why everybody thinks, that I'm the be all end all, because you're putting yourself out there like you're the be all end all, like you have the answers. It's, and that's what sort of got me into doing my Monday cult streams, and, I don't know where you sit on religion. I won't go like hardcore on.
Hey, honestly, I would love to have a individual stream about that one day. I think that would actually be really fun because I have a lot to say about religion. Are you more like on Western like Catholicism or
all of it?
Okay, so
I'm against all organized religions.
Oh, you're against organized religion?
Yes.
Okay.
I see the point of having organized religion, but I view them all as a cult, because no matter how many times you disagree with somebody on their take on something, and I'll just use this example, not calling anybody out, but if you say to somebody, you say, listen, Jesus Christ was a man that died 2,000 years ago, and he has a cult following. There are people that will die by that. They will die for that. They will kill people over that. That is a cult, and that's how I view these people.
Well, you could look at like what the idea that happened, the golden calf in like ancient Egypt, like during I don't know if this was in the Crusades, but this was during the Moses time and stuff. But so real quick, I'll try to do this in a 60-second like little lip. So during for Good Friday, we had a big crawfish bowl back down south. One of my good friends' parents came down because they're from Florida, originally from Alabama, kind of in the area I'm working at, but they live in Florida. Really rich, real estate husband, wife, super like submissive to his husband, whatever, like the perfect Western like Catholic family. And they raised a son, good friend of mine. And he's this very pushy, aggressive, like religious guy, and super, super nice though. But he's also kind of racist in some senses. But so he's like talking to me and everything, and I forgot how it went exactly, but he was trying to like say you need to accept Jesus into your heart so you could be saved, and accept that Jesus is your savior. And I was like, okay, cool. So, but doesn't Jesus and God forgive all, as long as you how does it work out? As long as you ask for forgiveness and
atone for your sins.
Yeah, and atone for your sins and ask and say that Jesus is your savior. And he's like, yes. I'm like, okay, cool. So what's my limit on that? Like when does my time run out that I can accept Jesus as my Lord and Savior? He's like, you could ask for it for whatever. So I'm like, okay, so if I die, as I'm dying and I'm seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, that should be the gates of heaven, as you say, and it becomes true that Jesus is reaching out his hand to me and saying, hey, do you accept me now? And I'm like, well, fuck yeah, I do. You're fucking in front of me. And then I grab his hand and I accept him. At that point, it didn't matter what I did for the other parts of my life, that as I'm dying and coming to the light, you present yourself and I accept you. And as long as I live the guy in good behavior and good faith and goodwill, then yes, I should be accepted. So why do I need to accept Jesus now as long as I feel like I'm living a good life? And he's like, because the Bible. And I'm like, that doesn't answer the question, because the Bible is a bunch of stories to help you develop your faith. They're not telling you how to live your life. They're telling you how to figure out your life. So,
well, and my point for
but I do
the
like
whole,
angels. I do like angels though.
I like angels, Evie. That's good. I'm doing the redemption ride tonight.
So you're trying to find that redemption.
Find redemption. No, I've always believed in God. Always.
Yes, agreed.
But I don't accept any other false gods, and I view Jesus Christ as a false god. I mean, that's the simplest way that I can put it.
Yeah, and they try to sell it to where God, the Holy Trinity, God, the Holy Spirit, and Jesus are the same thing. And again, if that's what it takes for you to be a good person, then fine,
Absolutely,
do it. But
do
I
it.
think,
and
I
that's,
think,
I don't, and I won't ever tell anybody that their belief is wrong. I will just say that they're part of a cult, and I'm happy to move on. I don't want to be part of it.
I probably won't call them a cult. I probably won't call them a cult. That's strong words, but I get your meaning behind it, because it makes sense. And you've covered cults so much on your channel, so I get it.
Yeah,
but it does make sense. Like,
yes,
you have to believe in this, that, and the other. You have to eat this bread and drink this red stuff we call blood, so you don't die and go to hell.
Yeah. I mean, but if that works for you, I had a very good minister that whenever I brought a lot of questions up to him, questions that cannot be answered, and there are things right out of the Bible. My point was, I'm not getting the answers I want. And he said, you're never going to find those answers, because those answers don't exist in this book. The questions that you have, you're not going to find the answers to. They're just not there. They were never recorded. These, that's the failing of man.
Look, you have to look inside yourself and understand that me snapping the neck of a kitten, it's probably evil.
Yeah.
But me saving a kitten from a drowning pool is probably good.
Yeah.
And as long as you can figure out the good from the bad, and you live your life on the good side of things.
Yes.
Or if you're left with two impossible scenarios, you try to evaluate what the goodest or the best scenario is, and just go that direction. So, hey, Tweety, I got you. I'm green now.
They like whenever I do this. Hey, Google, turn the lights green.
Oh, I have to manually do mine.
Okay, changing 3 lights.
There you go.
Wait. Hey, Google, turn the light blue.
Hey, Google, turn the lights blue.
Okay, changing 3 lights to blue.
You can hear it talk too, right?
Mine's on a Bluetooth app.
Yeah, I've got a Bluetooth app also for mine, but this is I've got it synced up to Google, so I don't have to worry about it.
Well, I just recently got a reliable hotspot for my camper, so I have good internet to stream now.
Nice.
Because I used to rely on the camper, like the RV lot Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's go back at this, man. I want to see what she has to ridiculously say.
Exactly.
And you get it. Steven Crowder is a victim. Once again, he's always a martyr for his belief. He's always a victim. And this time it's the proverbial boot on the neck. He's literally George Floyd. So the idea here is you need to feel really bad for Steven Crowder right away because he's got a boot on his neck. Let's see what else.
Do what?
Did she just call him? He tried to what? Rewind that 10 seconds.
I'll rewind it back. Just give me just a second, because I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this for Puffer P. Hey, Google, turn the lights purple. Watch.
All right, changing.
That looks pretty fucking pink to me.
What happens if you say pink?
Hey, Google, turn the lights pink.
Sure, changing 3 lights to pink.
That's more mauve,
Yeah. Hey, Google, turn lights purple. There we go.
What are colors?
Sure, changing 3 lights to pink.
Pink, purple. Hey, Google, turn lights blue.
White. George Floyd, Steven Crowder, What
Right, changing 3
tomato,
lights.
tomato.
Yes.
Okay, here, you just need to feel really bad for Steven Crowder right away because he's got a boot on his neck. Let's see what else he said.
Oh, so I didn't go
This
back
time
far
it's the
enough.
proverbial boot on the neck. He's literally George Floyd. So the idea here is you need to.
Yeah, you heard it.
Why would you say that, Candace Owens? Why?
Because he was talking about having a boot on his neck. Has nothing. That is such an
Guess
old
what? George
term.
Floyd did not have a boot on his neck. He had a knee on his neck. The boot on your neck is a reference back to, I think, World War II, where the Nazis, I think that was the.
World War One, World War Two. It was
anything in history.
Anything in history where you had
An oppressor.
an overwhelming power that was oppressing you, like something much greater than you oppressing you. That's all he was saying. Like, there's a proverbial boot on my neck to do X, Y, or Z, and you'll hear what he says.
I feel really bad for Steven Crowder right away because he's got a boot on his neck. Let's see what else he said.
So if you're familiar with the idea of extortion, then you know the feeling well. Now, some of these threats were so thinly veiled that I'm frankly surprised you didn't all guess immediately.
Steven has a lot going on, I guess is the best way to say it. He has a lot going on, and that should be clear because people don't do stuff like this if there's not a lot going on in their lives. I would like to...
So you notice they cut the other parts of it out. She edited stuff out of it.
I don't remember it like word for word, but I believe you. If you watched this back before.
Yeah, I'd seen the original one, and he didn't have all these cuts that she has in there. Like, she's cutting it to make certain things sound a certain way. Because
for my audience and everybody that isn't paying attention to this situation, not to condemn him, but to pray for him. Sometimes people need a prayer. Sometimes people need a scripture. You know, Stephen purports to be a Christian. I am unsure at this moment if it is my place to say more than that. You know, maybe if I feel in further defense, some things should be said, or maybe if I feel that the public has a right to understand certain circumstances.
Yep, she cut the crap out of that because it didn't even mention once about the deal about a person normally wouldn't be acting like this unless he was going through all this stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, I caught that.
Yep. She was cutting things out of it to make it look like that's all that he showed.
As if you didn't watch Crowder's intro. This was the intro to the video.
Yeah.
Of Crowder's video. It was the first 10 minutes. So you act like, oh, what does Candace have to say? And they just like flock from Crowder's first 10 minutes to go to Candace's video, and she's gonna like chop it all up. What's up, 2B Flair?
Yeah, 2B Flair.
I like that name, by the way.
Hit that like button and subscribed, and also know that we have this over on Rumble also at the same time.
I've hit the like button. I don't like Biden. I hit the like button on both platforms. Jesus Christ.
Hey, if you like Biden, that's up to you. It ain't my problem.
I just like to see him sweat running away from people.
I don't know. She changed clothing too. God, you almost got it. I saw it.
Got it. I missed.
I saw it.
Did you really see it?
Didn't
know my camera was that good.
Autumn Lady Sky. This is why I can't watch this crap. Once the company gets behind these people, media is only buzzwords. Exactly. And you'll see that I can almost guarantee, because I literally set my stream up and had dinner and have been off, and I guarantee you there's probably at least 50 to 100 people that are covering and playing this same exact video. I can almost guarantee it.
But ours is the best. This one's the best. Share it to all your friends on Twitter. Tag God or whatever.
Tag God. Hashtag God. That should just be my regular hashtag. Just God.
Yeah, just every tweet you make, just like tag God. Like, yeah.
Yep. God.
Thanks, God, for all the followers.
Exactly. Say something mean and sprinkle with sugar. Okay. I say something mean all the time. I'm a very mean person. And I think one of my biggest beefs is, well, it's twofold, because people trying to basically be the holier than thou and say that, and also knowing deep down that we're all flawed and we're all going to make mistakes and we're all going to screw up. Like you said, best of two choices, and neither one of them is a good one. It's going to happen in your lifetime. And then the people that basically will do nothing but give others that purity test where you have to be perfect. And I expect you to not have issues in your life. I expect you to not go through a divorce. That's, it's like, that's kind of shit that happens in life.
One of the best examples I've heard, and I'm going to try to make this as appropriate as possible. So let's imagine a state as being pure evil, because the state is evil whenever you want to incarcerate somebody forever for like self-defense. And say if you have a gun and you have the choice between Full Metal Jacket or Hollow Point, that's a choice you have to make. Full Metal Jacket might penetrate, Hollow Point stops whenever it hits target, creates a little bit more damage most likely. The state as being pure evil will take both those choices and argue the most evil of the two. Oh, you weren't thoughtful enough to use Hollow Point, so the bullet would stop and didn't hit that child across the street, hoping it wouldn't. Oh, you didn't choose Full Metal Jacket to make a smaller wound that could be fixed whenever the Hollow Point would create a bigger wound. So it's the choices you make no matter what. Somebody's always going to bitch at you for it. And the state as being pure evil, in my opinion, is everybody that's going to bitch at you for it every single time.
Yeah. And if you know anything about handguns or any sort of weapon, you pull the trigger until the threat is neutralized.
Yes. If I had a 40 millimeter or a 40 mic and you're coming at me, I'm going to shoot you with a 40 millimeter freaking bullet.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what weapon I have. I'm going to use it
until the threat is neutralized.
And you should hope that I would decide to use bullets than a knife, because that knife wound is going to be way harder to heal.
Yeah. And fix.
Yes.
Much more dangerous.
All my children have a right to privacy.
Yes.
Now, some other issues have been, or I should say, inferences have been more pernicious behind the scenes with demands and threats to use this information that they believe would be so publicly embarrassing to me and my wife at a difficult time that it could be used, knowingly putting my children in harm's way. So to those self-styled Christians, conservatives, and allies, well, not in my book. Now, if you find yourself, I don't want to get into details, so this is going to likely be the only time I have to address this or want to address this. If you're asking yourself, hey, did X person or did Y person know? The answer is likely yes.
So much that I want to say here. First and foremost, if you're a person that watches the show, how do you not see that he is so obviously acting?
What was that?
I said probably shouldn't be saying anything, Candace. Shut your mouth.
But she will.
Be a nice, good Christian woman and go sit down in the corner.
Yeah, be. That is a bad face. So, and you notice how he worded it was self-styled Christian folks.
Yeah.
Because you know that he knows she's not.
Yeah. Hey, keep on running, and I'm going to keep headphones on. Just got to run to the bathroom.
Cool.
That he is a very bad actor. Do you feel bad for him when he says that? When he says, if you're familiar with the idea of extortion, well, if you...
Here's the beauty. I don't feel bad one way or the other. I don't feel bad for Steven Crowder because, shit happens and maybe it ends up being a good thing in the final end. Do I feel bad for him? No, I feel nothing for him. I hope the best for him, but I don't feel bad for him. I don't feel bad for him. I don't feel bad for Candace. I feel bad for people that are, actively in my life. Steven Crowder means nothing to me. He's just another face on the radio or on the TV or on the YouTubes or whatever. Like, I wouldn't expect someone to feel bad for me that has never seen me before and has no ties to me whatsoever. I mean, if they wanted to pray for me because, my left leg got broken and, some random crap like that. Okay. That's cool. I accept that. But, you don't have to, and go out of your way to, involve yourself in making me feel better. It's not necessary. I like I said, I just don't feel bad for Crowder.
When he says, if you're familiar with the idea of extortion, well, if you are familiar with the idea of extortion, you should realize that video that he just showed of me wasn't that. Nobody threatened.
She did, though, because she says, unless I'm inclined to, I'm not going to speak on this anymore. as if she has knowledge that nobody else has, insider knowledge.
Yep.
She literally said that.
And then she came out and did it anyway.
Into him. Nobody made demands behind closed doors. His insinuation that I knew about his divorce before he decided to attack the Daily Wire is a pointed lie. Let me tell you what actually went on behind the scenes. Steven Crowder on election night was our friend. He was on the backstage with all of us, laughing, having a great time. He even sent me a retrospectively very flirty message.
Flirty. Oh, you have to bring the flirtatiousness up into it, the sexual conduct, because he's going through a quote unquote divorce and there's no infidelity. So let's just sprinkle in some flirtiness into it.
Okay. I watched part of this video, and the flirty part that she's talking about is him basically sending a message saying, "You look nice tonight."
You know what, Shizzy? You look nice tonight, man. Your beard's looking good. I like the little gray that's coming in right here. Looks good on you, man.
You flirty. You're flirting with me. I'm so disappointed. I bring you on and you do this to me.
Yeah, you cry, you little girl.
Cry, you little girl.
And you make sure you submit to me, little girl. I love it. You're right. Everything you said prior to us watching this, how she doesn't believe anything she's saying, or she's just a person that just jumps the side of the ship that she needs to be on to stay afloat. That's exactly what she's doing. She's a conservative in a conservative movement for the Daily Wire, and they frown upon this crap of gaslighting people with this whole sexual nature stuff, because it's very old school methods. I should be able to compliment, hey, Sally at work by the water cooler, I like your outfit today. You look good. You're glowing. Whatever.
Yeah.
See, your voice. See, Tweety complimented your voice.
See,
not mine.
Shizzy, your voice is so nice. You're looking very nice this evening. That's
how dare you, Shizzy, and your flirtatious.
See, I don't find that flirtatious. Flirtatious is coming over and making sure that I have your attention all the time. That I find the need to have to hug you and put my hands on you in some possible way. That's okay, now you're getting creepy. I
think so. Flirting with me is the idea of where I'm going to give you a compliment to gain your attention and initiate a conversation with you because of that compliment, and refer back to other compliments that I can give you that kind of gets the giggles going and gets the whole you tell kids, give me sweet eyes, but the girls give you sweet eyes to where they're bashful about it. I think that's flirtation to me.
Yeah. See, I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm married.
But Candace looks like a referee right now, and I just want to shoot her. In Minecraft.
I want to blow a whistle.
In Minecraft.
Blow it in her face. Just
yeah, with small. I want the whistle to be full of smallpox though. In Minecraft.
You can't even do that anymore.
In Minecraft?
Yeah, they'll flag that in Minecraft.
Oh, I don't play Minecraft. I don't know. I play Grand Theft Auto.
Oh, you missed my stream of Grand Theft Auto the other night.
Dude, I didn't know you played Grand Theft Auto.
Oh, look. She makes a good point. To be flirting generally includes a sexual quality or inference that includes the other person you are talking to, if that makes sense.
Well, you would be alluding to sexual properties of the other person, to where if a girl comes up and rubs your shoulders, you're looking very nice today, but it's the touch that kind of does it,
right?
Because
or here's an example: you look really nice tonight, and your breasts are just, completely exposed. I'm enjoying that. That's taking it a little bit too far.
Nice camel toe you got going on, by the way.
Yeah, that's
that might be sexually charged, not flirting. Because flirting is always the line between compliment and sexually charged. That's what flirting should be.
Well, maybe she doesn't pick up on those social cues because that's how she views flirting. There is that possibility that sometimes women just can't read the room. I've seen that happen before. And I've seen that happen with guys before too, where a girl gives them a compliment and is like, oh, I like that jacket on you. It looks really nice. And the next thing you know, the guy's going, oh, you're like, this girl's totally into me. And let me get her number. And it's like, dude, she was just paying you a compliment. Back off.
But
That's
that's
her
how
husband over there.
Yeah, but that's how easy guys are when it comes compares to women. Women like compliments. Whenever a guy gets a compliment, they get a little weird about it.
Well, do you think maybe that's why women don't pay men compliments as often?
I'm glad you brought that up. I have a thing to say about that.
Oh,
I forgot who I forgot who I heard this from. It might even be Ricada. I don't know. Like the guy speaks
Probably was.
facts. He speaks facts a lot, but girls expect compliments all the time. That's what keeps them going throughout the day. That's their nicotine. That's their freaking opium. They want compliments. They want people to notice their shoes and their heels and their fit and they're looking good. And oh, you got your hair cut, 2 days ago. Hell yeah, your highlights looking good. Guy gets a compliment and I know people are a little bit more like once a month. Like you give me a compliment once every 6 months, and that compliment could be, you did a really good job on this project. I'm like, bro, really? Dang it! I just get compliments because I get paid. Like my paycheck's my compliment half the time.
Yeah.
Or, hey, I'm glad you did this job correctly, and I'm glad like your uniform, you wore the perfect uniform, and you did or whatever. Anyway, I don't want to get into the weeds about it because I don't have to wear uniforms at work, but typically when we do like major projects like we did, I wore my actual jumpsuit uniform and I performed everything. I did all the things correctly. And the woman, she's actually the project manager, very good looking girl. She's crazy as crap. I don't know why she would like accept the job she has. She's married, but she's literally insane for like having the job she has.
Yeah.
And she came up to me last night about like 11 o'clock. She's like, thank you for everything you did. You made my life easy for this project. And I'm like, and then I walked away.
Yeah.
Like, it's a charging time. I'm not going to say anything in response to that.
No, and that is a for real compliment from the heart. That's from her. That is a heartfelt compliment. It's like you just made my life so much easier in everything that you did. Thank you very much. And that's how guys compliment each other also.
But this was a girl that complimented, isn't it? But the entire thing is like, I created value for this entire like team of work. And I got complimented once the project was over. Like you complimented all the value that I gave to this production team. And like, I was so goddamn freaking tired. And I still had to drive 30 minutes north to go to my lady's hotel because like she had a conference like in the same area.
Mm-hmm.
And I was going to drive home an hour east to Tuscaloosa where my camper was at, but lady just so happened to be in the Birmingham area. So I was like, thank God you're here because I don't think my feet can handle driving an hour. They're so goddamn sore because we're walking on limestone all day.
Oh,
so I drove like 25 minutes to the hotel, and then I grabbed my bags and I had to pay for parking downtown Birmingham. And I'm walking around the block, and then there's this homeless guy that's like, check, blah, blah, and weird freaking words are coming out of his mouth. And I was like, ugh. And my hand went down to my knife where my gun would normally be. I'm like, I'm in Birmingham. I don't have a concealed carry here. My gun's in the camper, so my knife's here. And then he walked away. I was like, cool, I don't have to stab a guy. So I walked around the block, and I get up to the hotel, and I'm just like, woman, I'm showering, and then I want to go to bed. and we haven't seen each other. I went to see her in Atlanta last weekend for that festival concert I sent you, which was really cool.
Yeah,
but
I was so impressed with that. That was awesome. I was like, damn,
they're 12.
I know. That's why I was
insane.
Like, that is solid, tight, and I mean, whoever their teacher is, kudos to them because getting that many kids organized to play anything together.
They get invited to go to New York next.
Awesome.
It's insane. And I'm like, and this kid, like, he's a good kid. Don't get me wrong. Very like he's very like male enthused to where like he wants male attention because he doesn't really get it a lot because like, I'm dating a girl that went through a divorce, but like we make it work. And like her kids are great. They love me, but her kids like lack a lot of that. I feel like we're into the weeds here. We still have like 10 minutes of this video to watch.
No, I'm listening.
No. So I came into their lives like whenever like 9 and 10, and they flocked to me because like apparently I'm a man's man. I work pipeline. I'm sending pictures of this heavy equipment stuff and like pipeline, like whatever. And they love it. They enjoy it. They come out during the summer and I show them the job sites and they get to meet the crew and they love it. And but the oldest is still dealing with past, like the youngest is great. Like he's super great. The oldest is still kind of going through like some weird, like, I don't know if it's daddy issues, but like comparing history to present, and he hasn't separated them to 100% yet, to where he's still kind of acting out a little bit. But the kid is so phenomenal at music. He plays the tenor saxophone and he sounds great.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I just want you to apply all that to everything you do because you're amazing at it. And I'm trying to get that in his head. Like, if you can do this with music is one of the hardest things in my opinion.
Yes. And
I can't play an instrument. I can play Crazy Train on an electric guitar, like the first riff, and then I'm done.
Oh, I can play.
One
day I'll actually play my music on stream. That, but yeah, it might get me copyright stricken. So I don't know.
Funny enough, that video I shared with you, that's an unlisted link on YouTube on my personal account.
Yeah.
But if you want to play it, I'm totally down for that. But funny enough, that video got copyrighted. And it's 12-year-olds playing original pieces so perfectly that it got recognized, which I know there's probably like a 5% parameter to where it has to mix that to where it's not a parody. But it got, as soon as it uploaded, before it went HD, was copyrighted. So good. So
it is good.
No,
I would play it, but the only thing is I don't want to get copyrighted.
No, play it on Rumble, man. We'll switch to that crap. But the point is,
I can do it towards the end.
Yeah, the point was like, I didn't upload it for like views or anything. I uploaded it for the family.
Yeah.
So
that's all that's for.
Yeah, and even on my personal account, like it's still copyrighted. So I thought it was kind of funny because my personal account's my name. It's not this. My personal account on YouTube is just my name.
Well, and I would love to introduce you to my brother-in-law. He married a woman that already had two preteen boys, so they weren't quite teenagers yet. And whenever I say preteen, it's like 10 and 12, or they might have even been teens at the time.
Yeah, that's in the same realm of where I'm at.
And so they had a father that was very much paying for them to be in sports. He was very active with them. Just mom, dad didn't get along. They got divorced. And, he started dating this girl. And next thing you know, he's married. And then dad started like going cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. It might have been the drugs or something that like went cuckoo. And the oldest, I was talking with him, and he's just like, I don't want to be anything like my dad, and blah blah, really railing on him. And because you can tell that he's really hurting. And I was talking with him. I was like, listen, I haven't talked to my parents in forever, and I understand the feeling. I said, but hopefully at some point in time you realize that he wasn't all bad. He wasn't all the mean, horrible creature that you think that he was, and that you find a little bit of love for him, because it's important that he is your father, and he may have made some really bad mistakes. And if you don't give any sort of chance for redemption, that can be, that can break you a little bit more.
Yeah. Well,
and also, be careful, because, people like that can hurt you on the background. So be wary, but also leave yourself open for that.
Yeah.
And
so the kids have an open avenue of communication to their like biological father. And he's
not anymore.
Not anymore. No, I mean in my situation.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Yeah, they choose not to have it because of the bad things he did, and they were old enough to realize that as it was going on. And me and their mom promoted the idea because they had to go through like therapy and stuff. Like it wasn't horribly bad, but it was to a point where like it was getting bad. So she put them to therapy. Then I came along and I promoted the idea, like, hey, this guy, I've kind of followed him like on the internet worlds and stuff, and like he seems like he's doing way better now. Seems like he's a good guy. And I promote them like, hey, reach out, because I didn't know who my real father was growing up, and I still don't. I had a stepdad.
Yeah.
My mom never figured out like who it was. She was a crazy woman. But just going through it, like I promote them and they just don't want to. But as the oldest is growing up, like he's realizing we realize he's becoming more and more as his dad was.
Right.
So there's a bunch of weird stuff that we found out throughout the time, but the biggest thing is he's getting psychic evals currently. Nothing bad. It's just a small percentage of his mental. There's a small possibility. There's a small mental disorder that's making him be this way, and it's like towards the spectrum idea.
Right.
So we're pursuing that, but not to get into it too much. But he's possibly opening up to like reaching out to his dad a little bit more.
That's good.
And the youngest and the oldest, like they have the same dad, but the youngest is just like, I'm cool, I'm chilling, I'm gifted and talented in school, I'm making good grades, I get to play with robots and stuff.
I don't need that hassle kind of thing. I understand that. That's how I was. So most people talking against Candace already disliked her. That is a possibility, or maybe they just saw through her bullshit, I would say, because I mean, I remember whenever I was first seeing her, I was like, oh, look at this. She's got some really interesting stuff to say. And it's the same way that Jack Murphy got me, you know, and he was saying all of the right things and a lot of the things that were going on in those kinds of circles. And then once you find out what they're really about and how they truly believe and the things that they're currently doing, that they feel no shame or remorse for, which they shouldn't if they're comfortable in their own skin, just don't bullshit me on it.
Would be
if she came out and said, I'm liberal, I've always been liberal, and I'm just using these as talking points, and I don't believe half this shit I'm saying, I would have more respect for her than I have for you know, somebody lying to me and telling me bullshit.
Would be the funniest thing in my opinion is if like all that was true, and then she also like divorced her husband because she only married a white husband to be traditionally conservative as a black woman.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't laugh at that because like please do not just marry
because kids are involved in that. But
I didn't know she had kids. Does she?
Yeah.
Oh,
she just
crap.
recently had a kid.
I hope that never happens then. But anyway, quest on.
Yeah. So I mean that and like I said, that's sort of my outlook on that. Well, Silly Silverstone, I don't know anything about that. I mean, I'm glad that you're comfortable.
Yeah, just because he teaches constitutional law to teenage boys and also girls doesn't mean, I mean, he can like the kids he teaches, but it doesn't mean what you think it means.
I mean, I'm just glad he's got personal experience with this. You know, that's fine by me.
I gotta say, like Ricada Law, man, I'm not chilling him, but the point is, like, he seems like a genuinely good guy.
Yeah,
that makes really funny jokes.
Yeah, absolutely, and flawed, yeah, but at least he's straight up with the flaws that he has.
Yeah,
you know, and that's like most of the folks that I follow on YouTube. That's one of the reasons why I follow them, is because they're themselves. You know, as flawed as they are.
That's my actual last name, by the way.
I know, Matt himself. I like the play on words. That was pretty awesome.
2014, I made my first gamer tag for Xbox, and that was it. So
you know what mine was for the longest time? An ugly baby. If you've ever played Call of Duty and been shot by an ugly baby, it's very depressing.
That makes it hilarious.
What's even worse is whenever you find him and you shoot an ugly baby.
What's up, Danielle? I see you.
That makes you look.
That's so funny.
I'm sorry, Silvertone. I wish I could find your silver bitch.
Or a silverback ape. Maybe that's what you're into. We'll figure it out. DM me.
I hate black women that marry white men. Well, sounds like your own problem there, silly.
No, he needs a silverback ape. That's what he wants.
There you go. There you go. So Trump 2024, huh? Okay. There you go, I guess.
I'd vote for Con. No, I'm kidding. I don't. Whoever. Okay, I'll be like this, and I think you might agree with me. Whoever is
Yeah.
a nominated Conservative Party member or Republican Party member is who you should vote for. Period. Right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you don't want to split the vote between independent and Republican. You want to go Republican, get the shit going back red. Get the red shit go. Just get the red back. Puffer smiles.
Look at that.
Smiley at Smitch.
Yep. Smiley at Smitch.
Oh crap! You
Sam.
got red.
Yeah.
He or she. Well, the picture is
She.
a she, but you never know.
Puffer P is a she.
Okay,
Puffer
well,
P
she
is a
smacked
she.
your ass on Call of Duty.
That's a very big possibility. But the only thing is you would have only seen me on snipers,
The camp.
Call of Duties.
We have a camper in the house.
Yep. No, I always joined up with like the sniper leagues.
Okay, I didn't play much Call of Duty. I think whenever Call of Duty became popular, I was playing Destiny
Yeah, whenever
or
see,
Halo.
I switched over from Call of Duty to playing Battlefield for a while because I don't like the run and gun. I just never been into it. I like
That's why I
I
got
like-
into Destiny, because Destiny kind of married like the Call of Duty style game or Halo into your almost like World of Warcraft with all the different like quest lines and like your packages you can make for your character, and that was kind of fun for me.
Yeah, I mean that was sort of my. I mean, I was part of like this little group. I actually created a website and all kinds of crap for them.
You were hardcore.
Yeah, I was having fun. But just like all things, like, and that's why all the YouTube, and I see it this happening the same way is you get these little groups that get all together, and then somebody does or says something that somebody else doesn't like, and then there's issues and drama, and then little bickering behind each other's back and crap like that. And whenever I saw Ricada
up,
talking
Vicky
about
T?
that. Yeah, Vicky T's awesome. When I saw Ricada talking about that, like, I don't want to be part of this drama. Keep me the fuck out of this drama because I know where it's going. He comes from that same mindset of being in like the little Call of Duty clan or whatever.
Yeah,
And it was like they would have all that little infighting that would happen, and somebody gets hurt over some little thing.
yeah, that almost all stems back from either Counter-Strike, like back in 08, all the way to like Diablo back in like the early 2000s, to where
Yes.
well, you couldn't show up to our raid or whatever, so you're outed from it, and we're gonna inside our raid group, you're kicked out. We're gonna talk all the crap about you and all this.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the internal dramas before it's like broadcasted over the internet.
Yes.
And it's the same mentality.
Yes.
Hey, I want to say this though. I love that you broadcast, Shizzy. Like it's
you.
cool because like I know you have a small community, but you have a faithful community. I think it's awesome. You still strive at and do it, and it's such a good thing because it's like every creator that I followed from like the first 100 subscribers, which is a lot of them back in like 2012. They just do it and do it and do it. And then it ends up most likely becoming something for the most part, as long as they're good at it or try to be good at it.
I try.
Yeah.
I try. I'm not good at. I don't have the time of like if I was doing this, 30 years ago, like had the knowledge that I have now, and man, I would sit here and be able to cut, edit, do all night streams, crap like that. But at my age, and I don't make any money at this,
It's a hobby. It's a hobby.
Yeah, I bill out so much money that for me to make a living off of this, I would have to have close to 2 million subs on here just to even be able to compete with the kind of money I make right now.
Oh, okay. So which you're talking about, like switching from personal job to doing this?
Yeah.
Okay, I get that.
So I mean, I'll
And
do
even
this.
with, I mean, 2 million subscribers for like this type of broadcast is still pretty modest to like upper level income. You know what I mean? Like
Exactly.
it's typically like your middle class income.
Right. And that's
Yeah, a
what
lot of
I'm
people
saying.
think,
is
a lot of
2
people
million
think give it,
subscribers and you're making millions of dollars. No, 2
no,
million,
like
2 million
60 to
subs.
80, maybe. If you
Yeah.
got sponsorships, maybe a little more, but
I mean, that's the only way that I could ever make this happen is with those kind of subs. But every single one of the subs that I have, I absolutely appreciate.
no, and it's cool they show up too, and like
Yeah.
your mods, and they interact with chat, and then because it's funny to be in the stream, it's all like blue chat guys with like wrenches, and then like as it goes on, like everybody starts filtering in, so
Mhm.
the conversation just grows and grows and grows as the stream goes on. It's great.
And these people are great. I mean, every single one of them, Lady Autumn Sky, Vicky T, Puffer P. I mean, I've met them on other people's chats and been in streams with them. And I had Steph the Alternate on here, and Vicky T got to meet Steph the Alternate and
Oh,
hang
that's
out.
cool. That's cool as heck.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I enjoy having fun and being able to share that kind of stuff. Because for me, I've met a lot of really famous people from playing music. When I say a lot, I mean a lot. and it's always nice to be able to share that with other people of seeing like, what the hell are you doing?
I was giving the Candace Owens face. I thought it was funny.
Candace Owens, she needs a whistle.
Yeah.
Well,
she looks like a referee in this picture specifically.
I know.
Yeah,
Maybe it was intentional.
The one cool thing is about having a smaller community, and this is what I liked about growing up through communities, like, and being part of the chat. And I told Steve Gosney this too. It's so cool because like you create a community and people show up. Such a cool thing. And like as you're growing, like having a smaller community means you get to hang out with the people that support you. And then kind of like my fear about most people, but it's also such a good thing because it expands your platform to where you could do something more like locals, to where if you really want to hang out with me, hey, join this. But even Arcada's locals is getting so crowded because he's gotten so big. But like having like a smaller community like this is so fun. And it's so scary because like there's a possibility you can grow so big to where you're not going to be able to like have this community that's the same dynamic as it is now,
Well, but
I'm listening. I gotta kill a bug.
That's fine. But that is also the yeah, that was a very big bug. He was beating it with a hammer.
No, it's my tiger fist.
But the beauty of having the even these core people like this, even if it does become really big, I'll still remember these core people because I've been around them so much. And I would suspect that quite a few of these core people that you see here would move on and also become just as big. And that's what I want for everybody, to be able to do, to have a even larger following than I have.
Yeah, it's so kind of like whenever you become like a smaller creator, everybody else wants to be creators around you, and that's why they support you. And then the rising tide just like raises all ships.
Yep.
To where like your community just like spiders from all that.
And they end up building their own thing and doing great, wonderful stuff. And that's what I want. And if all I ever had was 100 subs, I still would have had an absolute blast doing it.
Oh hell yeah, of course.
That's but we'll get back to our Candace here.
Yeah, let's go, man.
Thereafter on Instagram about how nice I looked on election night, even though I didn't respond to it. Thereafter,
well, that sounds pretty rude. Not even a thank you. What a bitch.
Obviously, he attacked the Daily Wire. He decided to record his friend Jeremy Boring and to release the record.
I hate when people make up shit to make themselves sound better, because that's not what happened. At the very beginning, he didn't call out Daily Wire. He didn't call out Jeremy Boring. And yes, it was a shitty thing that he probably recorded their conversation and then released it. But that's what you call keeping your receipts.
He did. Apparently, according to sources, he records every conversation.
What's
he only
wrong with that?
released a portion of that conversation after the big flood of information came out.
Yes. And that he never would have released it had they not said the bullshit that they did before. She's pitiful.
On election night, even though I didn't respond to it. Thereafter, obviously, he attacked the Daily Wire. He decided to record his friend, Jeremy Boring, and to release the recording out of context to make it seem like Jeremy Boring knows that he's employing all of us like we're slaves, right?
So that sounds to me like she has inside knowledge on this.
I don't think he recorded out of context. He put it perfectly in context.
Yes. So where is she going with this? Because I just watched her say a whole bunch of dribble travel that made no fucking sense whatsoever. I mean, she was sitting there saying, well, recorded this out of context. Okay, so were you there for this? Were you there for this conversation?
Yeah, how can you provide context to it when it's proven out of context? You have no say.
Right. I mean, unless you were there, then all of it's out of context for you. Because it's all out of context for me.
20-second take. I would say the best thing that could have happened would have been Steven Crowder said, hey, Jeremy, I don't like this contract. And Jeremy said, well, this is what you get. And Steven Crowder said, I'm going to make a video about this. And Jeremy's like, well, let's do this together and kind of hash out details.
Grift off of it.
Yeah, grift off it. That would have been the perfect scenario.
I think they did. Personally, I think they did.
Well, they did it in a drama-filled way that kind of divides audiences, and I don't know if that's beneficial to the entire direction with the because
I think it was done on purpose. That was my suspicion at the very beginning, and I could be absolutely wrong.
Hey, do you have aluminum foil in the house?
Do I have aluminum foil?
Yeah, I need you to go take some, about a 12 by 12 sheet, and start bending it into a brim of a hat and set it on your head.
Set it on my head.
I don't know.
Maybe
but it's possible, man. No telling what goes on behind closed doors when it comes to media.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be good fun, and then after a couple of years, you just sort of come out together and go, we're
trans now.
We made up this shit.
Yeah. now Jeremy from the Quartering is marrying Jeremy from the Daily Wire to Steven Crowder now that they're divorced. And David Landau's a child.
I feel bad that you had her back. She did nothing for you. She did, and you did nothing for her either. Really, honestly. I mean, for her, just yes, it's all over my ceiling.
It's not a circus jacket. It's a referee coat.
Yes, love the circus jacket.
She's about to blow the whistle.
Yeah. Oh, that's what it is. She's blowing the whistle.
Oh, she's a whistleblower. Jesus.
Yeah.
Oh, hurrah!
Sure, that's not all she blows.
This is what Steven Crowder did. We had a right to respond forcefully to all of his claims. We all did that on our different platforms. And
they didn't have a right to do that. They chose to do that. They chose to take the aggressive route. They could have talked to the guy.
I guess she's correct in saying that they had a right to respond if they wanted to. Absolutely agree. And he has every right to respond however the fuck he wants to. So
but as
why is she carrying on the drama?
Let me give you some business advice. I've never been into media.
All right, let's bring it on.
When an independent creator comes at a corporation that is giving you a shitty contract, you should probably not throw fire at because he has nothing to lose. You have sponsors to lose, which you have lost. Creator Crowder got a Rumble contract that probably exceeded what you were going to offer him. So whenever you have a corporation that sponsors and throws that as a fire flowing torch at a person that's independent, you will always lose.
There you go. See? Good business advice. I could get behind the narrative she spits, but this is far.
Yeah, she's going back to Africa with this take. Shit.
Oh, that's
Ooh, that was
horrible.
dark.
And then I said to myself, just sitting there one day, why is he doing this? It's a
Same reason that you're doing this.
Money.
Money.
very simple question and an obvious question that any person would ask. This is not normal behavior. It's very
She is really projecting here.
Dude, she has such a big mouth too. Like I wish it was smaller because it wouldn't be so loud.
Yeah. I mean, I'm kudos on her that she's gotten this far in this space.
Yeah, too bad
erratic
this is
to
the
go
finish line for her.
Yeah.
from being friends with somebody, being with them on election night, laughing, having a great time, to suddenly wanting to ruin their entire company.
Really ruining their company.
Crowder wasn't trying to run their company because he never stated their company.
No. How is it ruining someone's company if you're calling out the companies as an overall? Now, let's put it this way. If someone told you to go into your profession as an inspector, that you're going to end up having to pay $600,000 a year after you retire in dues, would you have signed up with the company you're currently with?
No.
You would have said, no, this is a really bad idea.
You know what would be funny? Like, here's a funny take to that. I would have took that information and be like, I'll sit on it. That would have embezzled that idea to a actual maintenance company that's going to make the money and be like, hey, they're contracting me to do some really bad shit. There's going to be all this fucking maintenance contract work coming up because I'm about to do something really stupid. I'm going to change my name, go to Quebec, whatever. I'm going to blow up this pipeline and I'm going to get hired on with you and embezzle all the money from that fucking bullshit.
Yeah. Discussing a bad
Not that I would ever do
contract
that in Minecraft.
Exactly. So discussing a bad contract is not ruin a business. Exactly. That's my point, is like, if that's ruining a company, then your company was doomed in the first place.
Look.
That you were basically, it's one of the same thing that would happen out in California.
Look,
And people didn't quite get this. You've got to pay to play out in California. And the way that pay to play works is they expect you to have $1,500, and this was in 1990. So they expect you to have $1,500 worth of tickets sold because they wanted asses in the seat of people that were going to buy alcohol. If you couldn't get $1,500 worth of people showing up to a fucking show, then you needed to pay for those tickets yourself, or you're not going on stage.
Look, I'll take everything that Tweety said. I'm going to fix it. If you don't offer a bad contract, then it will never be discussed, period.
Right.
Offer a contract that benefits both parties every single time within margin. I agree.
Right.
There has to be marginal, like, understanding. Like, I want an extra $2 for allowance. That's fine. But don't insult the person. Crowder is obviously worth $100 million for his entire studio platform.
Right.
50 million was shit.
Yes.
They offered that to him. He said, no. That's what he said.
Come to me with a real offer.
But,
and there was no real offer behind it.
Yeah.
It was like, well, this is our standard offer. Well, your standard offer is shit because you're basically kneecapping me before I even get started.
No, they didn't say that. They said this is the maximum we can offer, is what Daily Wire said.
Well, there you go. Okay.
So, if that's the maximum you could offer, say that and say la vie. Go away.
Yeah.
Go away.
And we move on.
That's it. And Crowder would have done that. And Crowder did that and, partnered with Rumble. Yeah. And we have no idea what that contract is. No. Honestly, it's probably not a $50 million contract. It's probably more or less like a $15 million exclusivity contract for certain terms, and they keep the gate. Wait, what was that? Tell Matt that being edited is my kink. Oh, Tweety, I'll edit the fuck out of you. What are you going to edit that butt?
Yeah, I mean,
that was pretty funny.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
Oh,
and
no,
launching Stop Big Con.
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I have no chill. Like I love funny shit. It's hilarious.
Exactly. I love funny shit too. That's what.
Well, hey, Tweety, just to let you know, I have a long-term girlfriend and she loves me. She loves me so good. But no, like we're in a long-term relationship. But if you want to make funny jokes, I'll respond to them. And I do not mind.
Tweety's awesome. Tweety makes very, very funny jokes. And
Hey, Tweety, can you Tweety me?
Tweety.
I don't know what that means.
Tweet. Now, regarding whether or not it's a bad bill of goods, it's each party's responsibility to read it and good crowd for seeing the bullshit in whenever they're proposing to them. Yeah.
Fair enough.
All right.
All right, let's get back into the freaking black woman shit.
Yeah. That's all right. I got it. Put them in timeout again. Or I'll just block them for a period of time. Silly's been on here a few times doing that kind of crap, and
Wait,
I just don't have time for it.
Oh, you're getting spammed?
Yeah, I think it's one of Monograph's little twerps.
What's his name?
Silly Silverstone. I've just
Silly
blocked
Silverstone. I'm gonna kick your ass if you keep on harassing our fucking podcast. I know Taekwondo Tikezis. I will fuck you up.
I know sushi.
I know how to drop nuclear bombs in Minecraft.
See, and Tweety, I rap for a living, so I'm a professional. Mm-hmm. Tweety's awesome. Tweety was
I like Tweety. She's nice.
Yeah, Tweety was a newscaster for quite some.
Tweety said, "Tell Matt that being edited is my." Tweety. I mean, if you want to edit me, hang on. Edit that. Like, make a meme out of it. I don't care.
Silly people. Silly people. I figured this person was doing the same thing. So I'll start that one there to come back to it later because I'm not going to put up with their crap. So you always got to get the silly ones in there that want to cause problems.
See, that's my biggest fear about like live streaming is because like you have to like do mod stuff and all that. Like,
I've got mods.
Yeah, but I have no idea how to even like do that.
And normally I let people get on with stuff for a while, as long as they don't start getting too carried away. But sometimes they take it just a little bit too far.
So like who's like being like stupid mods?
Well, I don't have stupid mods. I have fun mods.
Well, not stupid mods. I'm sorry. Like people are like infiltrating the chat is what I'm getting at.
Oh, and one of them is I know that they're using somebody else's name, so I know that they're full of it.
Okay. Well, I just can't tell with chat, so you're doing a very good job.
Oh yeah, I can because I know my chat.
Okay.
My chat is not that way, so
yeah.
All right, we'll get back to Candace here. We're halfway through.
To go from being friends with the very simple question and an obvious question that any person would ask. This is not normal behavior. It's very erratic to go from being friends with somebody, being with them on election night, laughing, having a great time, to suddenly wanting to ruin their entire company and launching Stop Big Con. It's bizarre behavior.
But he didn't.
He didn't. He didn't. He did that in response to all their bullshit.
Yep.
That's it. And I guess she took offense to it. How does that affect her? Like I said, German Shepherd, put her out there to catch all the minds because she is disposable. She is a pawn.
No, we have to give her a new name. It's not a German Shepherd. It's not a Chihuahua. She is now the collecting sponge. She is the dirty sponge of Daily Wire.
Yes.
That's all she will ever be at this point because I don't respect her.
Yes. I don't. I lose more and more respect off of her shit every minute.
Every single time she speaks makes my ears hurt.
Let's make your ears hurt some more.
God damn you.
I turned to my husband and I said, "Where's his wife in all of this?"
I doubt she turned to her husband and said that. If she did, he should have just like smacked that smug look off her face in Minecraft.
Yeah, her
Isn't she so
son.
supposedly a Christian? I'm just thinking about the way that I talk about everything.
And that pisses me off even more. Like I said, that I knew she was going to go there. I didn't see this part of it. And he calls himself a Christian.
Yeah.
As if Christians can't have faults.
Exactly.
But the thing is that she's referring to is that Crowder's going through a divorce currently.
Right.
She's flaming the idea that it's Crowder's fault that he's going through a divorce when he publicly stated on his own forum that I didn't choose this. But she's using this as momentum to fuck him. Call yourself Crowder's friend. Fuck you, you're fucking shit bitch. That's mean. It's bad friend status.
And I would bet that Crowder had no respect for her in the first place.
I would
Why?
bet that.
Oh, why is she bringing it? Her wife, Crowder's wife, into her rant? Oh, you'll find out here towards the end. You'll see.
It's coming up.
in my life with my husband. Every night I'm talking to him about what's going on at work.
Well, shame on you.
Foreshadowing.
Shame on her. Shame on her for doing that. Because you shouldn't be doing that to your spouse. Just telling you. Men, women, don't bring work home with you.
Agreed.
It's not fun. It's not fun for the wife. It's
You know,
not fun for the husband.
Hey, 20-second thought. Look, I think like in other communities, like 10 years ago, whatever, like whenever the man was the sole breadwinner for the family, like yeah, the woman stay-at-home mom, fine, cool. Hey, woman, just make sure your husband had a good day, like he worked his fucking ass off and shit. Now we live in a society to where we both work. We both hate our fucking jobs most of the time, so please don't bring work into the fucking shit. In that situation, Crowder's running a multi-million-dollar business. Please don't bring that shit into the fucking thing. And Candace is bringing that shit up. It's a bigger deal. It's a bigger deal than you think.
Yeah.
Don't know if I said that right. Sorry if I fucked that up.
No, that makes perfect sense. That really does.
Trying to figure it out.
I thought to myself, where is Hillary Crowder in all of this? How did she not tell him not?
But she already knew that they were going through a divorce, which makes me know that this is even more disingenuous.
Yeah, it's 2 years later, right?
No, the time of him leaving Louder with Crowder on that platform is whenever she's talking about. Everybody knew this shit was going on.
Well, no, this is current, I thought.
No, it is. That's what I'm saying. She already knew.
Yeah, but the event that happened was 21, so this is over 2 years ago. She's talking about the divorce, right?
Listen. No, just listen to what she said.
Okay, yeah.
In my life with my husband. Every night I'm talking to him about what's going on at work. I thought to myself, where is Hillary Crowder in all of this? How did she not tell him not to do something this vicious and this disgusting? And then I said to my husband, I bet they're not even together.
See, this is about him leaving Daily Wire.
Okay.
Not leaving Daily Wire. This is him leaving the Blaze.
Yeah.
That's what she's talking about.
So this is January 19th show or January show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, this is the current show, but she's talking about whenever he left the Blaze. Like, where's Hillary in all this?
Yeah, but
they were already going through the divorce, and everybody already knew it that was in this business.
Yeah, but the divorce happened in 21. That talks about the divorce,
right?
So she's projecting divorce into her like talking point.
Yes. And she already knew about it. And she's saying, she's acting like she didn't know anything about the divorce.
No, but she projected Hillary. She said Crowder's wife's name, Hillary.
Yeah.
So fuck you.
Yeah.
I logged on to Instagram and I found Hillary Crowder's Instagram account and I looked to see, and it turned out that she didn't follow Steven Crowder and that Steven Crowder didn't follow her. He didn't follow anybody in her family, and she wasn't following anybody in his family. That was my aha moment.
This is the drama-filled shit that we talked about.
Yeah.
That's what turns this from news, conservative media, to just drama shit.
She's stalking him.
That's all she's doing.
Why is she stalking him? She's a married woman. Why is she going and stalking these people?
Because she cares so much about the backlash she got from the shit that Steven Crowder said. And she's like, I have to protect myself. Because if I lose my platform, my husband can't fucking take care of me because, you know, I'm the person. I don't know who her husband is, but that's how it makes me feel.
He's English.
Oh,
I
fuck
believe.
him.
Yeah, I guess he's some like minor royal or some crap like that.
I mean, I'm English too, so I speak the language.
I speak French.
No, I speak like 10% of Colombian.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, see.
Countdown to this chick's divorce starts now.
Thank you, TP Player. That was super hilarious.
That is awesome. I love it.
No, but the point is, like, she's talking shit about Crowder's divorce while she's talking very elaborately about her own marriage.
Yeah.
I see her getting divorced just as fast.
Yeah.
Because
she's
she's probably stating
exemplifying
her shit.
She's exemplifying why women are hated in this business.
Yeah.
And
Fuck
love
you,
her
Candace.
beards.
I hate you, and I want you to, you know, put your head into it and get a swirly.
Yeah. Yeah, this is why you wonder why men don't talk to women about certain things because of this crap right here, because it gets completely fucking twisted from the truth, because this is
Exactly.
so far from truth that
No, it's to the point where it's hateful.
yes, spiteful.
Spiteful, it's a good word, yes.
Moment. Clearly, there was some sort of a separation. Now, this might sound like crazy CIA stuff, woman stuff. It's exactly what happened. I then spoke to Jeremy at the Daily Wire and I said, do you think that him and his wife are potentially separated?
No, wait. Play it through. Please play it through.
Okay.
Sound like crazy CIA stuff, woman stuff. It's exactly what happened. I then spoke to Jeremy at the Daily Wire and I said, do you think that him and his wife are potentially separated? And he said, no. Obviously, it's his friend. He would have known whether or not they were separated, except he didn't. He actually had no idea they were separated either. Finally, we decided in conclusion, Jeremy advised that we just stay out of it, that this is actually not our business, but at least it actually felt good to learn that he was going through something privately because it assigned some reason for something that he did that was so horrific and so irrational to his friends. And finally, we said, okay, this is a broken man.
They inferred. Maybe Candace did, but they inferred that, hey, this man's going through divorce, and they found out he was going through divorce, so therefore, hey, this guy's been going through divorce. Let's just talk shit about him forever. That's what happened. God, it's so dumb.
And you know, this is one of the, whenever people act like this, and there's a good reason. CIA's woman stuff. No,
Vicky T, please don't ever do this to men. Please don't.
no. She excludes miserable, kind of focuses on another because she hates her own existence and distracts her from her own misery. Yeah,
No, Tweety, you are totally a glowy.
and she's right. Vicky T, not all women do this. But whatever makes it seem horrible on her. Not glad, but I'm happy that she linked the CIA plus crazy women together. Damn right, Tweety. That is so true.
You're right.
Because I mean and women like this don't understand how much restraint it takes for men to not knock the ever living piss out of someone like this.
Right.
I mean, it takes so much restraint that,
You know,
because if I was around a woman pulling this kind of crap, I would have to walk away and distance myself from them and never be in their presence ever again, because that kind of shit doesn't fly with me.
Like, it's a weird situation because, okay, let's understand. I'm going to try not to go too crazy with this, but let's just acknowledge that men have stronger muscles than women.
Yes.
Let's also understand that if a woman in any situation tries to overpower a man, we'll relinquish, like, hey, like, it's fine, like, whatever. But if you try to come after the primate idea that we just want to be providers and be value driven to anybody in our life, and you infiltrate that shit with some bullcrap, it become and this, like,
You get cut off really quick. You get separated from the rest of humanity really quick, because men don't tolerate this kind of shit.
But if you want to cut off my supply of my resources that I offer to literally everybody ever, and it's for bullshit fucking reasons, these, like, I'm not the strongest person in the world, but I'm pretty sure I can overpower most, like, average women. And I don't want to have to do that. But the point is, don't fuck with men's values, please. That's all we have today.
What is it, rationally for the unwarranted harangue? Because she can get away with it. It's as simple as that. That's all that it is, because she knows that she can get away with it. Because Steven Crowder knows that if that was a man doing crap like that, that he'd be laid out in a fucking heartbeat. Talking them's fighting words.
They are.
Restraint is respected, knowledge is fact.
Because no good man will ever go after a woman unless it was, like, made sense upon.
Yeah, it takes a
lot. Like, you better put, like, fucking 12 claymores in front of me before I do something, especially if it matters.
Yeah, but see, here's the thing, Puffer. And let me explain this really simple. It does Crowder no good to go after her, because she'll have the backing of the Daily Wire, and they will grift the ever-living shit out of it. This is why they're doing it, because they'll grift. Oh, see, Steven Crowder didn't like the words that this poor little girl had to say. She is nothing. And whenever I say nothing, the amount of followers that she has, for them, someone did a breakdown of this. She has something like, several 100,000 subscribers, if not close to 1 million. And she maybe gets like 2,000 views for one of her little bits like this.
2,000 to 3,000. It's accurate.
Yeah. So, and if you think about it, I've got 100 subscribers and I can get like 46 views. So that's half of my subscribers are watching. That's a really great ratio. And if you take and you put into consideration the amount of people that watch her as compared to the amount of people that are subscribed to her, it's nothing. She is so low on the totem pole as compared to someone like Ben Shapiro, which probably has twice as many subscribers, and probably about 3/4 of the people watch him on a regular basis.
So on Shizzy's point, the idea that so Ben Shapiro typically runs a 2/3 ratio to his subscriber. So if he has 1 million subs, or let's make it simple, if he has 3 million subs, he's getting 2 million watchers overall for the first week.
Yeah,
very good, very, very good. Candace has probably, I think, 2 million subs, and she gets 200,000, which is 1/10. It's literally 10%.
Yeah.
So her ratio, that's what's called being ratioed.
Yeah. She's
getting a ratio. That's not what generally on Twitter is getting called ratio, but she's getting ratioed as far as hey, you have all this, but you're only getting this, because only people care about it whenever the name Shapiro or Crowder comes up in your content. So
yes. And it doesn't bode well for her and Daily Wire, because Daily Wire is probably going, girl,
Vicky
you've got to
T
do.
is definitely kinky. There's some kinky teas in the chat. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm like
Vicky T is so kinky. Yes, aren't you, doll?
I want some Vicky T's in the chat. Hey, Shiz, you gonna be on for a second or what?
Yeah. You just
All
need
right.
to step away for a second.
Gotta pop up for the bathroom again, man.
Hey,
My
broke the seal. Go ahead.
yeah,
That's
broke
fine.
it already. I'll be right back.
I'll entertain the chat. Things would have been lost in court if they didn't edit hard. Yeah, very true. No, I mean this is the problem that you have with someone like Candace, and it's because the drama has to perpetuate. And that was one thing that I was warned about by some really, really kind people that were just like, stay out of the drama as much as possible. It's going to happen, but stay out of the drama as much as possible, because when you get into the drama, you're going to make people angry. People are going to agree with you. And whenever you want to actually cover something that's real and something that's interesting, people are not going to be interested because you're not giving them the drama that they want. And that's a very valid point. There's a reason why I back away from certain drama. It's better that way. See, they don't know who I am. Steven Crowder, Candace Owens. I'm just some random asshole on the internet that has an opinion that really doesn't matter. So that's it. That's all I got to say about that. We'll play some more of this here. Matt will be back after he just gets done, shaking the I don't know what that thing is, the incense burner. I think they do that in Catholic churches. Maybe it's Mormons. I don't know. I forget. Yeah, I'm silly.
This is what I was thinking. This is a broken man who is on some sort of a spiral. It is likely his divorce that led to this moment. He's acting
bad. She's a bad actor.
Erratic. He's acting panicked, and this at least gives us some sort of an excuse for why he behaved this way. That's it. That's the big scary story.
She has bigger shoulders than Nick, at least. Yeah.
I then went onto my platform and I said, pray for Steven Crowder.
So fake, so wrong, so bad.
Honestly, because that's what he needs. He needs a prayer. And apparently nobody's answering those prayers right now because he's still acting erratic. He's now upping the ante and suggesting that I extorted him. I will not take that lightly.
So apparently Steven Crowder can't have prayers because he's doing a bad thing, according to Candace.
I guess so. She didn't appreciate Catholic mastering the praying of the rosary. See, there you go. Someone knows. I'd rather be quiet than be the squeaky wheel getting the oil, because it's gross energy, and I don't think its behavior can go on forever because people don't want to be around that usually. Absolutely. Or the Mass of the Rosary. I'm saying it wrong. Hey, I don't know. I backed away from religion 40 years ago. Yeah, 40 years ago. 30 years ago. Most definitely 30 years ago, but I was on my way 40 years ago. So, but that's just me. Disingenuous and self-promoting. Yes. Flirty. Show the receipts, bitch. Yeah. She's not getting it.
And suggesting that I extorted him.
Yes.
I will not take that
No,
lightly.
now she is.
Okay. I am not Hillary Crowder. I am not anybody in his family. I am not going to take somebody going onto his platform and alleging that I either harassed, threatened, or did anything that would put his children at risk.
So what is she doing right now?
Then stop being a colossal bitch.
Yeah. Just shut the hell up, woman. Back off. Back off that shit.
It is very serious stuff that he is saying. And so what I did this morning after this clip was sent to me is I contacted a defamation lawyer, and I am sending Steven Crowder a cease and desist. And I'm
So she's suing Crowder for words?
No, she's sending a cease and desist.
Which is the first step of suing?
Dude, you know what a cease and desist is?
I mean, yes, partially.
I mean, okay. A cease and desist is basically saying, I don't like what you're saying. You're saying mean things. Will you please stop? That's all it is. What she's doing right now is a cease and desist. That's exactly what it is. Except it's just in letter form because it's more proper to do it that way. It means absolutely nothing and it's worth toilet paper. It's the first step.
Yeah. It makes sense.
Yeah, I mean it means nothing. It means absolutely nothing. I could send you a cease and desist tomorrow and you would look at it and go, what the fuck is this? It means nothing to you. I mean, really it does. It's just like, okay, come at it. Come for it, bitch. That's all he has to say is come at it.
I do.
I mean,
sorry, I was Russell's.
Oh, nice.
It was a pain in the ass to open. I was trying to figure it out.
The plastic on the bastard is always a son of a bitch. Always.
It smells so good though.
But see, the redemption costs less.
This was 45, I think.
Yeah. This was 29, 26, something like that.
Yeah.
And all the high rye and their bourbon is the same price, which I've got to pick up another bottle. I drink way too much.
So do I. But on the road, man, that's what happens.
Well, and you also will get, you'll get this sleep that you need.
It's to put me to sleep juice.
Yeah. See, to be flares hitting red cease and desist letters says stop doing X, Y, or Z. And I mean, sometimes that's all it takes for people to stop doing X, Y, or Z. Really. I mean, it's like basically saying, Mom, tell Jimmy to stop, poking his finger in my face. I'm touching you. I'm touching you. I'm touching you. I'm touching you. And you say, okay.
That reminds me of the old viral video. Charlie bit me and it really hurt.
Charlie bit me and it really hurt.
I'm going to demand a full-throated retraction.
Throated.
A full-throated retraction?
Yeah, I don't know what throated means.
It means you say it from your throat. I mean, I don't
retract your thing. That's a death scream.
I think Steven Crowder a cease and desist, and I'm going to demand a full-throated retraction to the idea.
A retraction to the idea. Well, how about you go fuck yourself? That's what I would tell her.
Well, she would probably enjoy
that. Candace Owens threatened him.
Read your script, lady, better. More throat.
Candace Owens, you want some more throat?
Or maybe she uses her throat. I don't know.
Or maybe she has more throat. Who knows? That's
a possibility. She might have a deep throat. I don't know.
Hey, I'm going to demand a full.
As a black man.
Full-throated retraction to the idea that Candace Owens threatened him or extorted him. And not that I simply did a little math. 1 + 1 = 2.
It's too emotional. She's way too emotional about all of this.
Yeah.
It makes no sense.
I think she meant to say full deep-throated something.
Oh, God. It makes me want to pull something up, and I'm not going to.
That I simply did a little math. 1 + 1 = 2. A crazy man doing these sorts of things to his friends obviously means that something is going on personally. Honestly, this time, I'm not even going to suggest that anybody should pray for him. I am so deeply troubled by the idea that he is trying to insert me into this narrative.
No, you inserted your fucking self.
She was never inserted. I mean, she probably has been inserted, but
yeah,
from her white husband.
She inserted herself into this.
Yes.
From the very beginning.
Yes.
And that's what he called her out on. He called her out on, you know, back the fuck off.
Yeah, you were supposed to be a bro and you weren't.
Yeah. Well, she has a new baby.
I like
so
how
may or may not have been in play.
I like how 11-minute clip lasted 2 hours for us.
Hey, I can make it go all night.
Let's do it.
We're not even 3/4 of the way through yet. Her Pornhub search history appeared while she was reading her script. That's a good one. That's a good one.
Pertaining to his divorce. I'm frankly angry about this. So I'm going to hope.
Wait, what? Puffy says throw that.
Throw that. I don't understand why she's angry about his divorce. It affects her none.
It affects her none whatsoever. She's mad because like Crowder called her out originally, and she's like, well, I knew this thing about Crowder, so therefore like I have ammunition, even though he said that they're going through the thing.
Yeah.
Makes no sense.
Crazy women.
Divorce. I'm frankly angry about this. So I'm going to hope that he does the right thing. Okay. That he does another one of his live feeds on the exact same platform and via the exact same medium and offers me an apology and takes back every single word that he says.
An apology for what, you black bitch?
No, did you hear what she just said? I hope he offers an apology and then takes back every word that he said.
For what? That's what doesn't make sense.
Okay, listen to the wording very carefully.
Oh, wait.
I hope he offers an apology and then takes back every word he said. Why would you offer an apology just to take it back? Damn it.
No, you accept the words you said when you initiate an apology.
Yes. I'm sorry.
Candace, baby.
You need a better writer.
No.
You need a better writer of your script because you're horrible. It's
very
horrible. You should have said, I hope he takes back every cruel word that he said to me.
And acknowledges it.
And acknowledges and gives me an apology. It's real simple. If you feel you've been so jilted as a young black woman, maybe, it would be nice if somebody would apologize to you. Poor.
But that's all she ever wants is she just wants an apology.
She just wants an apology.
She deserves one. She's a minority creature of the left at this point. She just needs one. She needs it.
She's got to have one. Needs it. Loves it.
Via the exact same medium and offers me an apology and takes back every single word that he says. And by the way, if you think that that's bad, here's how he decided to end this clip pertaining to his divorce.
How much of it do you think will be edited?
I'm sure there's gonna be like 3 jump cuts, at least.
Yeah. I'm going for 4, but
high low.
Going for 4, maybe 5.
I'm on 3.
3, maybe 4.
I'll count in my hand right here.
There you go.
It's pretty simple. I loved a woman so much that I married her. A woman who, despite all of this, I still love as the mother of my children. And she wanted something else for her life. That's not my choice. She simply wanted out, and the law says that that's how it works. Now, of course, look, I get it. There are multiple sides to every story, but one thing that is undeniable in this case is that it's no one's fault but my own in that I picked wrong.
Oh, we were both wrong.
Way wrong.
Damn it.
damn it! How does that implode Crowder?
No,
It
that's
he was honest.
That's a very good way of putting it.
Yes,
I mean, I'm very impressed the way that he put
and she's
that.
about to like just expel helium over everybody.
Yeah, because he just said, "I picked wrong."
That's all he said.
I thought that I
thought the woman that I
was,
fell in love with was a woman forever, and I was wrong. That's what he said.
Yes. Some of us make that mistake.
We're men.
We're men.
We're human.
Yes. And some of us don't. I mean, my grandfather was married to my grandmother from 1940. What would have been 1940?
Right after World War II, man, that's insane.
Yeah, right before World War II, and they were married until they both passed.
Well, real quick, to chime into it, my great grandma on my mom's side was married from 1912 to 1985. So that's a thing.
It is. I mean,
but Candace is about to spill some freaking crazy freaking oatmeal that nobody agrees with. So let's hear it.
I'm dreading it. I really am.
You got to release it, man. You got to do it.
Release the Kraken.
Release it. Release it.
I picked wrong. Wow. How kind. How loving. You really must have loved this woman, Steven Crowder. Again, I don't know.
Shit. He picked wrong? No, he picked correctly as he thought was correct. And then, as he said, his wife decided not to love him anymore. That's sad.
It is.
Because
it is.
Crowder's been a public figure for 15 years. Yeah. And the fact that he has to come out as a conservative comedian and say that my wife doesn't love me anymore. My wife decided to choose not me. That's sad.
Yeah.
And Candace says, like, apparently my wife doesn't love me anymore. Candace, fuck you. You're fucked up. You're missing the point that Crowder lost his better half because she just so decided. That's so sad.
Yes.
Buying your act anymore. I certainly haven't bought it from the very beginning. It's very obvious to me exactly what you are.
Really now, Candace.
She's projecting. She's projecting what she thinks he thinks.
Wow. Oh, fuck yourself, lady. You know how many people go through this. You just alienated about 50% of your audience. Not that she had much of an audience to start out with. I'm sure her husband's thinking the same thing, and deep down she knows it. Projection.
Yeah. Her husband's probably getting pegged by some white guy right now.
Or maybe she is.
Or maybe she is the husband. Shit.
Yeah, maybe she wears the pants in the family.
Who's buying your act anymore. I certainly haven't bought it from the very beginning. It's very obvious to me exactly what you are. You come across to me as a very dishonest individual. It seems to me, Steven, that you really, for whatever reason, want to insert me into this narrative.
He didn't insert you at all into this, ever.
She inserted herself into this shit.
That's what's so fucked up.
Ah, Jesus Christ.
But the point is, she inserted herself, but also invalidated any possibility that Crowder was going through some shit.
Yeah. It's all become about her. It's become more about her than his family, his wife.
Wait, let's throw it back. Like, what's her reasoning for bringing it up? Daily Wire.
Yes.
It went from Steven Crowder saying something to Daily Wire to Steven Crowder's marriage. And now back to Daily Wire.
Yeah.
She was never a friend.
No.
And it's sad. Because, like, look, I don't know Steven, never met him. I will probably never meet him, but I cannot imagine what the crap he's been going through. Maybe you treated employees bad. That's a possibility. But she was in the community with Crowder.
Yes.
How the fuck do you treat your friends that way? It doesn't make sense.
And
to
they've worked around each other quite a bit. I mean, it would, and we're not talking about, like we're doing where we've got this distance between us on a computer. We're talking about they've been sitting in the same room working together doing the same kind of stuff.
But the thing is, like, we just met. Like, we're friends because, like, we have like unified ideas about, like, okay, online community, like we have same friends, whatever.
Right.
But this woman who wasn't in the realm for months or years at a time,
years. I mean, she's been around these people for years,
and she just fucked this guy out of existence because I didn't agree with you. It's so fucked up.
Gotta love women like this. Candace Amber Owens is her birth name. Yes. Why didn't she take her husband's name if she's so conservative?
Good point.
I mean, honestly, why didn't she take her husband's name? I will tell you, though, I did take my wife's name.
That's fair.
You know why I took my wife's name?
I'm curious.
Because my last name is so hard to pronounce.
What was it?
No, I'm not giving that away.
All right, that's fine. It's fair.
But whenever people find out what my last name is, they're gonna go, "What the fuck? You've got to be kidding me! That is such a cool last name. That's why I took it. Damn it!"
So I gave up on having kids. Like, so my last name's Selph, and that's a fun last name. But
yeah,
I gave up on the idea of having kids when I turned 32. I was like, yeah, I don't. It would take me 3 years to commit to a woman for me to have a kid. Then I ended up meeting a woman that had kids, that had no like apparent father in their life, which they're not taking my name either.
Right.
But I don't need a legacy. I never wanted that.
Right.
And the kids love the fuck out of me. They're like, hey, you're our chat. They call me the Chad dad. Because like whatever reason.
Well, and that's the thing that, like my brother-in-law, he married a woman that already had 2 kids, and then they had 2 more kids after that. I mean, I couldn't be around her personally. Like, I couldn't be married to her because she's not my type. She's absolutely gorgeous, but she's not my type, and her voice would drive me up the fucking wall.
Yeah.
But she is such a sweetheart. I mean, she really is a sweetheart, but it's just not my type. You know what you understand what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
it makes sense.
Like, and you've got friends, I'm sure, that you're just like, your wife is awesome, but I just couldn't be around her.
Oh yeah.
100%. You're just like your wife is absolutely awesome, and you two make a perfect couple, but I don't know how you do it, and bless you that you do. So I mean, it's one of those kind of
So my lady and I, like, she divorced her ex 10, 15 years ago, whatever. She raised her kids, like, synopsisly, whatever, by herself. God, my earring.
I know what you mean.
I'm trying to figure out side tone on this shit, but that's not.
I can hear you.
I know you can hear me, but it's not working on my end. Anyway, I can't hear myself, and it's fucking me up.
Pull one ear pad off, and then you can hear yourself when I'm talking. That's what I do all the time.
Hang on. No, that didn't fix it.
I love it. My 999-year-old uterus is still pumping out eggs, so I could have a mutant. Hey, that's okay.
All right, Twitty U.S. News. You know what? Go buy me a cantaloupe, please.
See, same. Almost out of divorce. I wanted to keep my bum lady's name, Lamers now, although his last name was cool. See, and that's. I mean, I took my wife's last name. Candace kept her last name, and I understand why she did. So, I mean, I do understand that she has her brand, and more than likely, I would say on her marriage certificate, on her marriage certificate, that she has her husband's last name, and this is basically her stage name. I could be wrong.
So Candace on paper took her husband's last name.
On paper took her husband's last name, but for the show, uses her last name.
Such a cuck move. Don't do that. If you believe in like Western Christianity relationships, if you're gonna marry somebody, take your husband's last name. That's how it's supposed to happen, right?
Yeah. Yep. My wife and I we're my wife and I we're like complete opposites. Like she's liberal, I'm conservative. We're like opposites in that.
But she respects you.
Yes, and I respect her.
Yes.
I mean, we have a mutual thing that and the best part is that anytime that she votes, I know that my vote cancels hers out.
Yeah, right. Hey, so we're figuring out. That's hilarious, by the way.
It's pretty straightforward. I mean, it's like, oh, I'm just here to cancel out her votes. That's all.
So me and my lady, so I just like drove to Birmingham to go like hang out with her. She had a conference, and she's as conservative as I am, but she doesn't register to vote.
Yeah,
she just doesn't want to. I'm like, hey babe, like you should, but I can't make her do it. So I vote, and she doesn't. But she is so up my fucking alley with the idea that like the encroaching idea that I have. I'm like, hey, this is what I think, and she's like, you're right. I'm like, so vote, and she's like, no.
No, and I mean, I couldn't vote whenever I was in the military. And I think the first time I cast a vote was for George Bush, the elder.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, because you like voted in very early 90s.
Yeah. So it was like that was the first time that I voted, and then because I was on the road so much and going in between places, I didn't have an address where I could actually vote from. Like nothing's stable enough to do that for. So it was quite some time before I actually even was able to vote again.
I get it. Hey, but, so like real quick, we still haven't got through it completely, but how's the crowd looking?
How's the crowd? Oh, we got like 7 folks out there hanging out. Right. From what StreamYards tells me.
Yeah, do you want to throw them to Rumble and let's go full crazy, finish it up, and go?
Let's do that. Let's do that. So everybody,
go full down.
Everybody up there in the very top, you're going to see a link. That link shows you where the Rumble link goes to. It is my live stream, and it is gonna happen. When it does, you're gonna see the turtles, and then this part of it will end, and we will still be on Rumble. So
let's send it.
You guys, just hang for a second.
If y'all want to hear some spicy things, get ready.
Get ready, because it's going to get spicy, sons of
dogs. It's going to get spicy.
Exotica.